Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil the Issues Guy. I am here tonight with Joe Dirty Locks. It is Sunday Night Live. Yeah, I swear I'm not stealing that. I'm McDowell's, they're McDonald's, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. You know, we don't mean anything else. There will not be sketch comedy tonight. I promise you that. But we're here tonight to talk about nothing. We have someone in the live chat, Iconic, says, what's tonight's topics? Tonight's topics aren't anything. We came out here tonight because...
Tell us.
Yeah, you guys tell us. Usually we come out here with some form of bullshit to talk about. We have a couple things that we might want to talk about tonight, and we'll get into those things. But basically, it's been about a week. I bit my tongue really bad at the beginning of the week. I don't even know how I did it. I think I was eating some crackers too hard, and so I bit the tip of my tongue. So I was a little out of commission this week because I did not want to come out here and go, hey. It would have been very uncomfortable for me to talk, so I'm still on that edge, but alcohol is helping, and I have woken Joe out of his sleep. He worked all night last night. He's working for the next 2 or 3 nights, but I went over to his house, punched him in the face, and said, get the fuck up. It's time for a live stream. And so we didn't have any specific topic tonight. What we're going to do is take questions from the live chat for a little while. We'll probably be on for about an hour and a half, and babbling to you guys and answering whatever silly questions you have in the live motherfucking chat. And let's go into the live motherfucking chat right now and talk to these motherfuckers shits. Carmine's like, 8 p.m., no show. I want my fucking money back, motherfucker. Surprise stream, no invite. Oh, David. Hey, Cloud, great to see you. Golden Arches. Yeah, they're the Golden Arches. We're the Golden Arcs. Oh, good deal on weed this week. Bought 2 ounces for $50 each. Oh, tasty stuff. Oh, bullshit. Good topic. Yes, Tubbs. It is the bullshit show. Castle Rock on Hulu. Worth it. Have you seen Castle Rock on Hulu, Joe?
No.
Not yet. So Joe, that means Joe says he's not. It's not worth it.
If this is the sci-fi show that takes place in a small little town in the Maine shore that was on cable like 5 or 6 years ago, I don't know if it was still going, but I saw the beginning, the first few episodes.
Oh, Carmine, you're not supposed to tell people that. The truth is, Carmine and I were making out really, really bad. Things got feisty. Carmine is a biter. Don't let the little ghost icon fool you. He bites hard. He's not all tongue like a real haunter or a Gengar eventually if he eventually evolves. Tubbs, I got a new twisty to smoke out of. Looking good shaved, Phil. I also want to talk about Joe and I both trying and get Joe's opinion on. We both tried a new kind of sandwich bread this week, and might talk about that a little bit later as well. Let's go back into the live chat. Looking good. What's up, man? How's everyone doing? Uncle D, what's up, Joe, the live motherfucking chat? Great to see you. Tyrion says, Phil, go Raiders. Chapter from Game of Thrones that you think deserves its own spin-off series. A chapter that needs its own spin-off series? I don't know about that. Oh, let's get on to Joe.
Or character.
Or a character that should get his own spin-off series. I think I mentioned this before somewhere. The Red Viper. I would love to see the sexcapades of the Red Viper traveling all through all of Westeros, fucking everything that moves.
Yeah, I mean they have. That's basically just go put on any Skinamax show.
Hey,
at like 2 in the morning.
Hey, but if it's Game of Thrones, it becomes high art, Joe. If they put that Game of Thrones title in front of it, it becomes high art, man. And then I can.
Foreign, it's HBO.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the old days with Dream On or something like that. Veronica Mars. Is Veronica Mars the best TV show of all time? Let's say. Were you a Veronica Mars fan, Joe?
I don't even know what that is.
It's Kristen Bell's big show, her first show. I think she was Sarah Marshall would probably be a quick thing that you might know.
Sarah Marshall.
You're a fucking asshole sometimes. You never see the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall with Marshall from How I Met Your Mother? The movie starts off where you get to see Marshall's penis, and then it goes from there. No, I guess Joe hasn't seen those movies. Someone knows what I'm talking about, and I'm not just making shit up.
Forgetting Sarah Silverman?
No, you're thinking of Saving Silverman with Jason Biggs, the pie fucker, and Jack Black and the dude from that Thing You Do movie.
Kristen Bell. Wait a second. Katie. Is Kristen Bell that chick that's married to that dude that does the commercials together? Okay, I know who they are. I know.
You ever see The Good Place? The show The Good
No, I
Place?
know who her husband is. That guy that was in the Chips movie there, wasn't he? The new Chips remake.
I actually saw that for the first time this morning.
That's her husband, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe we should pull out a picture of her. Hey, Tom, shut up.
Yeah, no, that's her husband. I know. They do the commercials together. The cute little like, oh, we're married and we do commercials together. Commercials. For like I don't even know what they're for, but like, no, she's cool. I didn't know she was Veronica Mars. I don't know what Veronica Mars is, but
It was
then I dig her as an actress.
Yeah, she's fun. She's fun. She was also on Heroes. She's been in a lot of things. She's fun. She's funny. The Good Place. I enjoy that with her and Ted Danson. And there's a couple of other things she's done that she's very funny in.
Yeah.
So I was literally thinking about you were streaming tonight, and bam, you popped up. Ain't Veronica Mars the best show of all time? We got someone else said that is really fucking great. Naked Women. Joe still have a ligma. I don't know. What do you want to start, whether it's a podcast or not? Hello, live motherfucking chat. Cooking steak in a few minutes, then pan into the oven. Is Joe watching The Expanse? Joe, you haven't watched The Expanse yet?
No.
And
no expenses.
And Alex hates us even more. I talked about this a little bit before, but this is a good question for Joe. Joe, who are some of your favorite stand-up comics? And you're not allowed to say you don't like stand-up comedy. Who are some of your favorite
so
stand-up
the only stand-up comic that I literally went and bought tickets to see live ever. I've gone to a few live shows, but this was the only guy I've ever been like, I need to go see this fucking show live, was Louis C.K. But right now, Louis C.K. still and Jim Jeffries, I guess, are two of my more favorite stand-up comedians at the moment. Like Ron Funches, I think he's really funny. He's more cute funny than, ha-ha funny, but I don't know.
How about of all time? Any of the classic stand-up comedians like Pryor, Eddie Murphy?
Of course. How do you
George Carlin,
Richard Pryor, the early mania of Robin Williams, the biting political realness of fucking Carlin, like ow ow, who the fuck was that guy?
Kinison.
Yeah, Kinison was fucking hilarious.
Bill Hicks, yeah, that whole crew.
Yeah, and then there's some even more obscure ones. That I can never
Mitch
remember.
Mitch Hedberg or whatever his name is. And then
some guys from like the 80s and shit that were really good, and like with something right or white, something right.
Just Stephen Wright.
Right. Yeah, like some really good comedians out there, but I think right now I'm gonna have to, even some of Chris Hart. Chris Hart, is that the little guy?
Kevin Hart,
the
little guy. I like that.
Some of his shit's really funny too. I liked Cat Williams for a little while. I thought he was funny. His first stand-up show was pretty hilarious, but he didn't really hold up too well, longevity wise, material wise.
It's tough. Stand-up comedy is tough. You can write a really good block of material, and then it's tough. And it takes you from being really great, or it's a different kind of thing, the people that can just prophetic and just keep writing material or keep improvising in the moment and doing their own thing over and over again. Continuing with some questions here. Do you guys watch? This is probably more of a question for you, because this is a show I always have wanted to watch, but for whatever reason have never started watching. I've watched an episode here and there and very much enjoyed it, and it's probably something that I'm going to binge one day. It's like in that bag of shows. Do you, Joe, watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I watched like the first 6 seasons of it, every episode. I didn't stop watching for any reason. Just timing didn't work out, and some seasons slipped by. But when it's on and in those first 6 seasons, I've seen so many of those episodes so many times. But when it's on and I catch it, I watch it. It's hilarious. That cast has a great, the 3 friends, the three of them, the 4 of them are like best friends. And then Dee's married to one of them. Charlie's married to the waitress in real life. So they've been working together and friends with each other for a long time. So maybe that helps with the
Chemistry.
Chemistry, thank you. Um,
And then you have Danny DeVito on the cast.
Yeah, he's just fucking brilliant in that show. I mean, the show really is brilliant, and the characters are wonderful. They're rich. They're fucking. It's a great. I think it's a great show. It's absolutely hilarious.
Awesome. And that's from Timothy Targaryen in the live chat. Tom himself is in the nude. No, he wants me to share a picture of Kristen Bell in the nude. Dak Shepard. Chappelle's my favorite stand-up comic. Andrew Dice Clay. I want to see that Robin Williams documentary. Steph Snow, I have seen it. I saw it's very good. It obviously gets sad at the end, but it's but it's a good documentary.
Dice Clay.
I like the nursery rhymes.
And that's just it. Like when I was in middle school, like Dice Clay was fucking hilarious. But when I've gone and then let's talk about Richard Pryor. Was not Richard Pryor, well, him too, but Eddie Murphy, Raw Raw. That was also around middle school for me. And if I watch Raw now, the shit holds up. You can watch it and still laugh your ass off during it. But when I watch some of Dice's older shit, like where he's doing the stand-up and he's doing his, it just doesn't hold up. It's not funny. I just sit there and I look at him like I can understand how I thought this was funny when I was 12. But like, how did adults think this shit was funny, enough to make him as big as he was?
Right. He was huge. He
was huge.
He was fucking huge.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I mean, maybe his personality's big and they were trying to capitalize on that too. Someone saw something in him. But and I loved that movie, Ford Fairlane. I thought that movie was excellent. Man to man, mano y mano. What the fuck's a mano y mano? Slaps her fucking titties.
I love seeing Freddy Krueger outside of Freddy Krueger. He's fucking great in that movie. Does Louis C.K. Okay, this is an interesting question as more of a bigger point question. Is Louis C.K. less funny because he's a fucking creeperson? Does that make his jokes less funny to you, Joe?
Okay.
I know it's a tough topic, but
here's the thing. How people react to.
It's a question from Alex in the chat, by the way.
How people react to the accusations made against them goes a big way as to whether or not you're still going to be able to listen to somebody throw jokes or now I don't know if it makes his jokes less funny or his stand-up less funny or his shows better things, and
the one
Louis
the one with
that was on.
Yeah, and also the one he writes with Edie Falco on it and stuff. It's really good too.
What's that? Is it Nurse Jack?
No, it's not Nurse Jack. I'm blanking on it right now. It'll pop in my head at some point.
But I don't want to say no, it makes his jokes less funny. They don't.
It makes me want to not support him quite as much, maybe in certain situations, but it doesn't take away. It doesn't make someone not funny.
Depending on their reaction to situations, depending on exactly what, the accusations are made against someone.
I think it can make them a horrible fucking person. Everything, all of that. I think there's two separate things. And I know this is whatever, but this is my opinion. There's two separate things. There is who a person is and what they do. And I think a person can be a gigantic, horrible, fucking piece of shit, criminal in some cases. And I'm talking about this as I'm not just talking about Louis C.K. I'm talking about sort of a wider net on here. But it can take away my want to kind of support them or pay them money for something, but I don't think it takes away talent. It doesn't subtract the ability that somebody can have. They still have that skill. They're still funny. They still made a good movie. They still did something good. Do I want to support it still? I don't know. It's a tough thing. It's
singular.
It's not easy.
Acts, right? Are things that can be forgiven, and they can be atoned for. Multiple bad acts. Certainly,
as a person or as an artist, I think they're two different things.
No, because as a person and as an artist, it can be hard to separate the two. A person is their art, right? Their art is influenced through the deeds of their life, through how they see the things around them and absorb the world around them and react to it and put out their art, right? It'd be very hard for someone to create depressing art if they've been, you know, shitting sunshine and farting roses.
Some people do though. Like think about I'm just using Nick from Family Ties. He's like, "Yo, I'm Nick," and then he puts this is a tragic, emotional type of thing. I mean, there are people that aren't necessarily their art. I see what you're saying. It's a fine line that we're not smart enough to fucking tell people what to think. It's each person.
Take every situation
individually.
And then you have to weigh whether or not you think those things or what you think is bad and what you don't think is bad. Like as a society in the 70s, 80s, 50s, right? Like it was wrong, but it wasn't, you know, looked at as wrong and horrible for, you know, all the sexual harassment that went on. It was part of daily life. It was part of what you expected, horribly as a woman, but like as a society, we've moved forward. We've decided that this behavior is intolerable, is wrong on many, many levels. So I know maybe not fully as a society, but we're moving there, Katie. You know, so you have, are you going to change your behavior as a 60-year-old man still running a company? Or are you going to say, well, fuck that, this stuff wasn't wrong then and it's not wrong now? You know, society's views on what appropriate behavior and what criminal behavior is changes all the time. And it's up to you as the consumer to decide whether or not you're going to support someone who's done things that you don't find that bad, that maybe you've done as well, so it's justifiable in your mind. Or maybe you say, I'll be a better person and I won't support someone who does that kind of stuff and I won't do those kind of things myself. But it's all up to the individual, and it's all up to the individual, you know, bad acts or bad act and bad actor. So preachy Joe.
No, it's good. I'm sure people don't usually hear the side of our babblery. So let's continue here, though. But good question, Alex, and good spark there. I haven't watched it. Just to answer what Bernie says, yeah, Danny DeVito is. I was going to add on to that when Joe was talking about Always Sunny. Danny DeVito is liquid funny. You add Danny DeVito to anything, he's one of the funniest guys ever on this fucking planet.
Brilliant.
And Mike says, yes, he's a creep and less funny, just like that pedo James Gunn. And King McKay in the live motherfucking chat. Alex says, I'm not American, so I'm not about the school systems, but I think Carlin should be mandatory part of your curriculum. Phil throwing the hard question already. I'm just reading the chat, King McKay. I'm just bringing what people want to talk about tonight. Steph says, everyone in my family talks like that. Maybe it was just an over-the-top Italian accent. Why don't we boycott Talking Dead? Then they can frame future projects, making you unable to enjoy them.
Yes, Tom, you can separate real life from your work. Actors have to do it all the time, right? They are not, you know, pirates running around fucking Hollywood and shit, and they're still putting out an art. But how they put out that art and what they put out is derived from their experiences through life.
Yep.
Right. If you don't necessarily know what it's like to be raped, it's going to be a lot harder to portray a realistic vision or artistic expression that captures the whole emotion of the torture and pain and suffering behind being a victim to that act. Now, you might also be able to capture it perfectly because, hey, art is art. Right? But who knows? Yeah, I mean, you are certainly right. People do separate their life from their work and their life from their art all the time. And I don't know if it makes it better or worse if you have the experiences to draw from. You know, that's, I mean, certainly I've never ridden a dragon, but I'm starting to draw them. So.
Speaking of, Birdie says, who body snatched Joe? Hello, Phil, Joe, and the motherfucking chat. Long time no see. Great to see Fine Essence. Paul Q, he's funny, but I wouldn't go to a show because it's full of hecklers. Quentin says, this is a very special episode. Did you guys hear that piano music? Yeah. Art's art, motherfucker. Catagate, we're talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. We're taking questions from the live chat. So if anyone has any questions they want to throw on in there, we'll gladly answer them. We're going to be on for a bit and babblery, whether they be serious questions, ridiculous questions, whatever, clearing the deck of some questions. And this is a good one to talk a little Game of Thrones here. So get your Game of Thrones hat on, Joe. This is from Santovi. Santovia Major has a question for us. Question for the general Game of Thrones discussion for you and Joe. Since Bran warged Hodor in summer before, if they're brought back by the Night King, can he keep control over them? Or can Bran break the link? Or can Bran break the link since he's a part of them, vice versa? I hope this makes
what if
sense.
The Night King then just wargs into Bran?
We don't know that the Night King has that. We don't know that the Night King has that power. So basically, do we think that Bran can take over Hodor and Summer if the Night King is controlling them already? No, I don't think so, because I think they're empty vessels. And I think part of the way Bran's power works is he's brain jumping. He's like jumping into someone's brain. And if they have a dead brain, where I think the Night King, the way he controls people, it's more like marionettes, like controlling
He'll end up jumping into the Night King.
Yeah, he'll end up jumping. Oh, that'd be fun though. But Joe, do you have any other opinion on this question?
We talk about, like, I don't know. Bran's gonna have the ability to fly soon, right?
What's your hope? But I frame it around a more general question, Joe. What are your hopes for Bran coming in this final season?
I don't know. I hope someone fucking shoots him with a fucking arrow through the face. Creeper, son. I saw you get raped, Sansa. It was hot.
Dude. Talk about the prequel. Talk about the prequel, boys. The Game of Thrones prequel, the Bran the Builder prequel. Joe, I don't think I really got a chance to hear your opinions of that. Are you excited for Game of Thrones prequels and expanding the universe a little bit more? Would you be excited for a Bran the Builder kind of focused?
Yeah, I'm excited for any more material they want to give me. They want to give me 10,000 years ago, sounds good. They want to give me 5,000 years ago, sounds good. They want to give me 10 years in the future after Game of Thrones, sounds good to me. I'm just all in for more fucking Westeros, more material, more fucking. Hopefully, this is the one. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see a transition from Lord of the Rings movies to Hobbit movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want like listen, you fucknut. You had everything perfect. Your visuals looked great, and then you went and did weird shit and like ruined just the way even the little shit looked in those movies. Like,
are you excited at all about the Amazon series, Lord of the Rings series, which seemingly, from what I've heard, is young Aragorn?
I'm not excited for that at all. I gotta grab my cup of water. I'll be back.
Okay. Joe will be back, and I'll catch up in the chat here for a second. Good to see you. Phil, what was your excuse for the last YouTube strike? Oh, you mean the last video that was taken down? It's all about playing videos now, that I'm playing clips of different trailers or playing too many clips of something, and now the videos go down. I'm not really getting strikes. The videos are just getting blocked because the advertisers and all that sort of crap's blocked. And it sucks because I can't challenge it, because if I challenge it and I lose, there's a chance I might get a strike in that case and then lose the streaming for 3 months. And what the fuck's the point of this channel if I can't stream? What am I going to upload a fucking video? What the fuck universe is this? What am I going to pull out my spoons and start going and make Phil plays the spoons and talks Game of Thrones? No one wants to see that shit.
I don't understand why you can't play a trailer.
It's bullshit. If we were bigger, if we were like
advertising for our thing.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you free advertising.
In fairness, Joe. In fairness, Joe, one of those trailers was The Walking Dead, which is the one that got hacked to pieces, and we did call AMC and leave them an angry message after one of their finales. So I'm not saying they know who we are, but I'm saying that if we want to put tab A into slot B, there's some fucking
heard us talk positively about that trailer.
Yeah, we did talk positively about that trailer. That was the most positive we've talked about The Walking Dead in fucking years, Joe. While still being honest. Okay, so let's continue. Ooh, steak is good, says Mike. I wonder what people say. Oh gosh. Do you know the riddle of steel? I do not. Nirvana Design talk about the prequels. Mike says, question, can we trade Joe for Katie? Asking for a friend. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. Nancy says, welcome. Hey, Nancy, great to see. Doug says, the past is written, the ink is dry. What is the question again? Steven says, welcome, Stephen Michael Davis. I've always wondered if D&D had this planned out or they're just making it up as they go along. Here at the end, do you think that they have just the final, or I wonder, I guess I'm saying it more as a open question. I wonder how much of the end they actually have. Did they just have the final scene? Did they just have the conclusion point? How many of these points, how many outline points did George give them? And how much is he going to change when the book finally comes out? And he's just waiting to see how some of this lands. And I know that seems ridiculous that he would let this show affect his writing, but he's going to let the show affect his writing. If he doesn't like the way something comes out the way he sees it, he might go, I might want to change that. And he could.
But here you go. When, like,
I'm going to go get a beer. Go, Joe.
John dying in the show did not come off nearly as well as it does in the books. So as far as whether or not he's going to wait for it to land, see what sticks, change his material because of how the reactions of the show is a little weird. Because his writing is that far superior to D&D's fucking screenplay works and writing. So there's that. I want to know what kind of beer Phil's drinking.
Oh, sorry. Fuck. I'm back. Sorry, Joe.
What kind of beer is that?
It is, let me scroll up. It's called Phantomai Saison.
My beer's better.
Wait, I gotta get you on camera for that. Let's dual camera. What's your beer, Joe? Oh, nice. Joe's got the good beer. Good beer. I also forgot to mention earlier that we have a voicemail and a text line. If people want to leave a voicemail or a text question, you can do that in 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. It's the Help Keep Joe Awake show. That's what we're doing tonight. Help Keep Joe Awake. It's a fucking telethon. And here we go. Sorry, if Carmine is reading, I'm half reading the message you sent me. Nice. Oh fuck, I'm getting so turned on by what Carmine's saying to me in private message right now. I always wondered, Bran is the Night King. That's 100%. Who doesn't see that coming? Joe, that's stupid. Sorry, but actors are trained to do exactly that. Portray people that are accurately as possible while not having gone through actual events. Most of the time, actors and writers will interview people with actual experience and do justice to the role. Meaning that if someone hasn't lived something, they haven't done it. I mean, there's a couple of different methods, and no pun intended, for acting. There's method acting where someone is embracing that they have to do the thing that they're doing, which I believe it was Laurence Olivier, which once asked about method acting. He said, why don't you try acting, young idiot? Or something. That's not acting, that's doing. It's not pretending. But then there's the other side of acting, which is a side that's more, what if? You're asking yourself, what if I was in that position? And you're trying to bring yourself to each individual character. I believe that's Meisner rather than Stanislavski's system. I could be ridiculously off base in the bullshit I'm talking about. Holy shit, we got a super chat donation in the live motherfucking chat. I'll see it in a second. Thank you so much, Travis. Let's scroll. What the fuck? Joe, have you ever tried to convince Phil to watch Babylon 5?
Have I ever tried to talk Phil into watching it?
Yes. Have you ever tried to talk me
he's
into?
Stubborn though. He won't.
I'm
Deep Space Nine.
No, fucking Westworld sucks. I fell asleep once with it, so I'm never gonna give the show a chance. I'm never gonna give the show a chance. Fuck you. It's the stupidest show. It's the stupidest show ever. It's the stupidest show ever.
I fell asleep 3 times
like an asshole
trying to get through episode 1, twice trying to get through episode 2, and I still suffered through a stinker shit of a fucking season.
You're a fucking asshole. Phil, why did I shave? Usually when I shave, it's because I fuck up shaving and I screw aside. But sometimes I just like the process of shaving it all off and then letting it grow back again. And sometimes I have to shave for work. So it was a combination of a few things. I tend to like to keep it off as much in the summer because it's fucking humid as fuck right now. Bloody Talker, Joe is right. I mean, method acting is true acting. Like my grandmother used to say, makeup tutorials. Yes. Oh, we should do makeup tutorials. The writers were announced, dudes, that Star Trek Beyond, I got something. Star Trek Beyond Oh yeah, this could be a new Star Trek movie. Peter Griffin. I've seen a study that shows 99% of beards carry poo in it. The scary part of the study showed that 60% wasn't their own poo. Peter Griffin, you're a fucking funny motherfucker right now. Okay, Joe, while we wait for a couple more questions in direction to push us in, you were talking a little bit how you're watching right now the end of Glow. I also watched, I think I already talked about it a lot, about this season of Glow. Are you enjoying, like, what are your opinions on Glow as a whole?
Okay, so before I get to my Glow, I just want the Bloody Talkers comment. I had to find it. I wanted to read it because I was confused by the way you read it to me.
Yeah, I'm not a good reader.
That's all right. No.
Oh wait, before you talk, Joe. Before you talk, Travis says, super chat donation $3.99. He says shots keep me awake, and he doesn't want to spin. He wants Joe to take a shot. So Joe, continue your discussion and shut the fuck up, Joe. And and Keelana in there, my Deep Space Nine support, says she wants this played because Joe's talking. Every time Joe talks shit about Deep Space Nine, she wants to hear that.
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
Santover, you missed it. We answered your question.
I'm not talking shit about Deep Space Nine. The truth is, it's stolen from Bab 5. It absolutely is. There's no doubt about it, and it's not just the similarities; it's fact. But here's the thing, Bloody Talker: that training that you talk about for them to portray accurately, they're trained to tap into emotions that will best reflect the same or similar emotion that they need to get out on screen. So yes, I've never been raped, but I need to cry while I talk about it. So I think about the time my dad hit me, and that makes me cry and brings up the emotion and the fear and the anger and all that shit. So it's about transference in that case. So yeah, it's a little different. And like I said, actors, and they are able to do it. It's not, there's always exceptions to the rule, and the people who are best at their art, the best at their craft, those people should be able to do that kind of thing real simply and make you believe it.
Hey, Bubba. Great to see Bubba in the live chat. Great to see Proto Peach, Mackenzie Burns, Alex, as always, Tom, Cattigat, Bloody Talker. Holy shit, Joe's taking a shot. Great to Proto Peach, all of our good friends in the live motherfucking chat tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for this free-form Sunday night live discussion. We're going to keep this silliness going for a while longer. If anyone gets a question or wants to get a question or get their voice in, they can always leave a voicemail at 781-990-8509 or a text at that number if I just missed your message. Joe, have you ever watched a show called Counterpart?
No, I think I saw it on Netflix. Did I see that on Netflix just recently?
I do not know. I haven't heard of it.
I think I was thinking about watching it.
Here we go. The ass eating. Yeah, the ass eating thing with all the poo. Phil, that stat about poo is very true. PSA, do not look up how much poo is on my toothbrush. Oh, fuck. Gross. Fuck that shit. I don't want to hear about that.
Don't keep your toothbrush 3 feet from your toilet. Keep it in the kitchen sink instead.
Favorite non-fiction book? Stephen Michael Davis has a super chat donation. Thank you so much for the super chat, Stephen Michael Davis. Let me spin the
Bible.
Non-fiction means like a real book, like about like a true story kind of a true story. When I was a kid, I really liked the Bo versus Bo book. Bo Jackson, a non-fiction book. I got to think about that for a second. It's probably a biography of some sort. I really enjoyed the Leonard Nimoy I Am Spock book, and then his follow-up book, I Am Not Spock. It gets inside Leonard Nimoy's life about why he hated the character of Spock at some points and times in his life, and how it pushed him away from what he wanted to do, and it also allowed him to do what he wanted to do. And then he followed it up with a book called I Am Spock, which is more about how much he loved the character and how much it defined him as a person. So I think that would probably be my answer. It'd have to be a biography of some sort. Joe, do you have an answer? A non-fiction book?
Anything basically that's See, nonfiction book. None that I
Joe said he said that you said the Bible. He said Joe. I said nonfiction, and he super chatted, donated again just to tell you, Stephen Michael Davis, you're awesome, buddy.
There's no book.
Joe's favorite book is See Spot Run.
Yeah, there's no nonfiction book that I can think of offhand title wise. That I like the best as far as like, I mean, are you talking still story? Because it's like
no nonfiction, just a nonfiction that you can think of like any person's
history textbook. Boom.
Okay, fine. Boom. But lawyer.
I'm a huge history buff, and like there's a lot of great stuff in history, but I can't think of any books. I don't even know if I've ever actually read I read a couple of World War II and Vietnam books, a lot of actually World War II books and books about the Nazis and shit like that, and rise and fall of the Third Reich, and when I was in high school and college. But it was a real interesting period of time for me. But yeah, like, no, there's no real, because you know what? Yeah, the saga of Lodbrok I'm reading right now. It's basically all the original text, the oldest text you can find that outline.
You're trying to get a new appreciation for Ivar, right? You're trying going into this new season.
Katie, along with this axe, right? My axe, my Viking axe.
Sinead O'Connor, Tom. Sorry, no.
Which was real. Oh, it's really Ragnar's axe, right? Here's a certificate. It says he used it in battle and killed lots of Brits with it. I can't. She got me a book that came too. It's in my bag. Will you grab it for me?
Oh, Joe's favorite book is the Larry.
This book as well, right?
Joe's favorite book is the Larry Flint story. Says I See Fury.
All the Vikings. The other book is really interesting.
Ooh, Sun Tzu, The Art of War, Machiavelli, good stuff.
It's the translations of it's the original text translations of accounts of. Oh, put that there. Can you read that, Phil?
The Saga of Ragnar Lodbrok.
Right, and I'm about halfway through with it. I've read it. I'm reading it at work at night. It's really good, and I'll tell you, Bjorn is so.
Oh, by the way, the super chat donation landed on both take shots. So at your leisure, Joe, grab another shot while you're talking.
Okay, so the children that we get in the series are actually like completely fucking out of order, completely not the like, it's pretty fucked up how much of that show is different than what the translations of the text say his life was. Especially considering it's the History Channel. It's like, wow, liberties in your dramatization, and like, as far as I'm concerned, like, if you had just like, this is it, like, this is basically all the material about this guy's fucking life that actually really exists. If you had just read this one book, how could you get like so much of the small details wrong, which were pointless to fucking change in the first place? Like, pointless.
Better art, Joe. Better fucking art.
And like a couple of the stories that are actually in here are really fucking cool, and they completely never fucking told them, and they're really fucking cool. Like,
I love Megan is still loving the shut the fuck up Joe right now. Want to hear more shut the fuck up Joe? One more time for you.
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
Shut the fuck up, me.
The Grinch that stole Christmas will knock your fucking socks off. Peter Griffin, love that. Waking Up, A Guide to Spirituality with a Religion, Sim Harris. Sun Tzu's Art of War is the bloody talker. Joe's favorite book is the Larry Flint story. Tom himself, best SNL host, musical guest of all time. I mean, you could basically, you're asking us, that's a question of like, what is your favorite band? Because pretty much every band you can think about has performed on Saturday Night Live, and it's an interesting room, and not all performances are really really great in that room because the sound isn't always perfect. But there's a couple of memorable performances when I was a kid, when in that period of time when I watched Saturday Night Live all the time. None really jump out. Blind Melon kind of pops in my mind real quick. A Cypress Hill performance with a killer conga player that destroyed it. That was inspiring as a goofy conga player at the time. I think a lot of really awesome performances on the Saturday Night Live stage. It's kind of tough to pick anyone. Joe, in general, we were talking a little bit about music this week, but what are some of your favorite bands or music you listen to at the moment? Are you do you have any music that you're
That was Katie.
Oh, that's Katie. Hi, Katie. Toast. What are some of your favorite bands of all time, Joe, and performances on Saturday Night Live? Oh, I know it's not that difficult of a question. Come on.
Jane's Addiction.
Jane's Addiction.
Didn't they both play the same show on Saturday Night Live?
Maybe. No, I know Jimmy Page has played there several times, and Jane's probably has played there a couple times as well.
No, I mean, here's the thing. There's so, everybody has gone across that fucking stage. It's been on for how many years? They need one show a night.
Yeah,
one show a week.
One show a week.
50 performances a year. What? 50
pretty much every band you want to pick. That's why I'm saying like you could pick any band ever. There was a cool Miles Davis performance on there. I remember as a kid watching there. It's like you could basically pick any band you ever wanted to be a fan of, and they played Saturday Night Live at some point in time. I need more cowbell. Gotta have more side boob.
James Brown.
James Brown probably played there. So let's continue with, we were talking a little bit, we're about to get into your thoughts on Glow. Excuse me. So did you finish the season yet?
Oh yeah, I finished both seasons.
Oh, cool. So I don't think I even talked to you really about season 1. I think I told you to, or it was one of those shows that I said, oh, you're going to like this, you should watch this, but I was careful about it because I didn't want to sell it too much to you, because I didn't want to ruin it for you by telling you, oh, you're going to love this, it's going to be funny, because
everybody had been telling me to watch it, and I had been wanting to right away.
I think I told you around the time we watched Cobra Kai, because I think Cobra Kai and Glow, for different reasons, celebrate 80s in nostalgia in ways that work where other things do it that doesn't work. Sorry, I just want to say that.
No, that's a good point.
So maybe even after seeing Cobra Kai, and I know how much you love that show, you were even in a better place to get into Glow.
No, Glow is really good on its own. Marin is fucking amazing in that role.
As Sam Sylvia.
It's really good. The acting's great. The story's funny. There's a lot done right about it. There's a lot done really, really right. I just like it. So there's one episode, season 1, right? Okay, all these shows, all these shows, so many shows will try to get into like some deep shit, and so it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but one of the chicks gets pregnant, and so it's like as soon as you see her go grab at this fucking pregnancy test in season 1, you're like, fuck, now we're gonna have 4 episodes of what should I do, and oh my god, it's my best friend's baby inside me, and she already hates me, and I'm gonna raise her child's half sibling, and you're expecting like another 4 episodes of just fucking drama surrounding this pregnancy, right? This betrayal pregnancy, and 30 minutes later that shit's done. Forgot about, gone. One episode, boom.
I love it's so bad. It's so bad but good. Married in that scene when he goes to the hospital, and she's like, "Oh, are you the boyfriend?" He goes, "No, I'm the husband." And he's just so antagonistic in that scene.
God, because it would just be horrible to bring an unwanted child into this fucking world.
It was great. Maron's excellent. I agree. And that was, a lot of people had told me, or I'd heard the name Mark Maron, and I definitely had seen him before in other things.
He's a podcast himself.
Yeah, he's like one of the godfathers of podcasting, so to speak. Yeah. But ultimately, I never really was exposed to him, and then I saw Glow the first season, and I kind of went on a little Mark Maron dip. I watched his show Maron, which is funny in its own right and ridiculous in its own right. But Glow is really awesome. And I think we were talking a little bit about this the other day when you came by, that I love that season 1, I think, is funnier than season 2, but I think season 2 establishes the characters better. It does what a show like Orange is the New Black or Weeds after the first break, after Nancy burns down the town and tries to recreate itself. It's another Jenny Cohen universe show. It's not all in the same universe, but it's all produced by Jenny Cohen and has some of her elements into it. And what I'm glad to see in season 2 of Glow is that it seems to be progressing naturally as the show should progress. It's still staying true to the funny and the edginess and all the coolness, but it's also establishing and giving every one of these ensemble actresses. They're not really introducing many new people. They introduced that one other new character, but for the most part, it's the same focus group, and they're allowing us to care about each individual character a little bit more. And I like how they're doing it. They're doing it with Mark Maron. Mark Maron gets an individual scene, whether it's that cookie scene in the hallway with Beirut about how she dropped out of military school, or there's a couple of other scenes where they have Mark Maron one-on-one with one of the girls. Debbie got a lot more this season in a couple moments with Maron as a producer, and her and him going back and forth, where this is the most I've ever let a woman talk that I'm not having sex with, you know, shit like that. And she kind of comes back at him with sticks her tongue out at him like, and stuff like that. Like, so we see a little bit more of who Debbie is even. I understand her more of a character. And Alison Brie, I mentioned it before. I have a television crush on Alison Brie. She kills it on this show, and her whole arc and what happens with her and how that all concludes. It's very heartwarming, and the show tugs the right spots without being ridiculously cheesy and balances it off with edginess.
One of the things they got right is there's a formula I've noticed. When you have shows like this, where you have a Maron character or a Brockmire character or Archie Bunker character, Jefferson character. These are all assholes. These are all big assholes, bigots, you know, just straight up fucking not nice people. And one of the beauties about having this is
Cartman. I'll add Cartman to that list.
What's that?
No, I was just going to add Cartman to that list as well.
I thought you said Carmen. I was like,
oh no, not Carmen from Glow. Not Carmen from Glow. No, she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart.
I know. So like you have these bad actors. Oh, not bad. What was I saying? You have these
sorry,
bad assholes.
Sorry, Joe. Hold your thought. Have you ever seen the show Titus? Stacy Keach plays an amazing version.
Yes. He plays Titus's dad, right?
Yeah, Titus's dad. Stacy Keach on Titus is exceptional. And Chris Maloney had a brief show where he played a character like that too. I hate to say it.
In his show with the doll that came out over Christmas.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That show was actually really good, really good. I like Christopher Maloney. I like pretty much anything he does. But sorry,
is it Happy? Right.
Happy. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. With characters like that, those kind of characters.
So, the gold comes from all of our other characters, our other main actors and main characters, bouncing off of that.
Yeah, Meathead bouncing off of Archie. George Jefferson bouncing off of Archie. Edith being doe-eyed bouncing off of Archie. I'm using Archie as the example, but he's the prototypical one.
And if you have, or you know, Al Bundy or whatever, if you have this, if your main character like that is just all yay, everything's awesome, everything's wonderful, you expect everybody to react to that with awesome, I'm so happy, everything's wonderful and awesome, and you're so wonderful and awesome, and everything's wonderful and awesome.
Shiny, happy people holding hands. Sorry.
And when you have that asshole, you are forced to explore the reactions of people from him, and that can build your other characters so well because, you know, this was a real awful thing this person did to them. How did they react? Oh, they took that well. They took that with character. They took that, you know, or yeah, I'm so happy she, you know, got violent with that person or whatever the case is. It allows for so much greater of a range in response than if you have a main character who's just all who's not this big asshole.
Joe, related but not related to the season, Stephen Michael Davis has a very important question. Favorite porn star? I don't know if I could have a favorite porn star other than talking about the ones from the 80s.
I will not talk about.
I'm gonna say Ron Jeremy because he was really funny on The Surreal Life and he's great in Orgasmo. So no, but when I was a kid, I remember because of the Skinamax. Joe mentioned Skinamax earlier. As a kid, I had a little bit. What was there? Marilyn Chambers, the Marilyn Chambers series of movies that were on when I was a child. I remember those were some of my early Playboy Channel, Electric Blue, that show. I don't have any names because I don't necessarily remember. I just remember the things I watched when I was 13, 14 years old were probably the most memorable to me.
Here's the thing as far as my favorite porn actor.
Can we say Joe Young from Orgasmo? Can I say everything about Orgasmo?
I'm gonna say.
Why don't you ask Joe his favorite chocolate?
My favorite porn star is the one on my screen at the time.
Yeah.
Or the 2 or the 7 on my screen at the time. I don't know. Is the Asian one, I guess. I don't know.
one more step. Bunny Blue. We got Bunny Bloatang, which is, remember everybody, the questions in the direction of this comes.
I could name a dozen porn stars, you know. I don't know if they're actually their names.
Joe, to change the subject a little bit, Uncle D asks, Phil and Joe, we talked a little bit about this before, but we could definitely mention it again. Are you guys stoked to see the Mayans MC show in September? I am.
Extremely.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Kurt Sutter back in his element. Bastard Execution. I hope that didn't. I can't wait for that taste to be washed out of my mouth and see Kurt Sutter back where he should be. We see lots of porn names going on in the live motherfucking chat right now. I was raised by Skinamax as well, says Stephen Michael Davis. Ew, the hedgehog. Guys or girls? Al Bundy, Peg Buddy, did you miss me, Al, with every bullet so far? So Phil and Joe, are you? So yeah, I am stoked to see the Mayans. We will be talking about it. We'll talk about the premiere episode, and then we'll go from there. Whether we're going to talk about the series from a week-to-week basis, or whether we'll be talking about it as a whole on the season. Even with Sons of Anarchy in the last couple of years, when we were still doing this, excuse me, we didn't. I think we just talked about select episodes of Sons of Anarchy, but I am excited to get back into that universe again and get into that and then the prequel series eventually. The Mayans trailer was really great. Phil and Joe, what is our porn names? Oh wait, is that our middle names in the road we grew up on as a kid? So I'd be Charlotte Stevens. Excuse me, that would be my porn name, Charlotte Stevens.
It's the name of your first cat, first street you lived on.
Oh no, yeah, it was. So I'd be Mr. Charlotte.
I would be Simba Summit. Simba Summit.
Simba Summit. Mr. Charlotte, right here. That's my porn name.
Simba Summit.
Oh my gosh, the chat is going into a.
My first pet actually would be either, I had 3 dogs, Bilbo, Frodo, and Hobo. So it would be Hobo Summit. Because I wouldn't go with one of the hobbits.
Did you
so
name
Hobo Summit?
Did you name all the pets, or did Martin name the pets?
Martin named them, I think. I definitely didn't name those dogs. I didn't name an animal until we got Kitty Lee. Joe,
this is an interesting question from Tom himself. Best film for a first date, so you'll know she's the one at the get-go. What's a good movie to take to?
Okay. I'm going to say this. It's a Bronx Tale, and this is why.
Oh, why? Because that's... Okay, I know what you're going to say. Go, Joe.
Because in that movie, right, this is actually kind of talked about, not in Best Movie for First Date, but how do you know if you have the right girl for you? So this is what you do. You bring her to see this movie, okay? And then you try...
God, I just swallowed a sip.
These scenarios out, right? The first one, and it will explain them to her in the movie, right? It'll say, you know, as you go to the door, you get out of the car, you go to the door, you pick her up, you tell her how beautiful she is. You walk her to the door, you open the door to the car for her. She gets in, you shut the door. You lock the door and you shut the door behind her, and you walk around the back of the car. And as you walk around the back of the car, okay, don't lock the door nowadays. But as you walk around the back of the car,
everyone has the auto lock. How the fuck are you doing it with the auto lock?
See her.
It changes the game, Joe.
And unlock that car door for you. You keep her. That is a keeper. That is a good woman right there. You've just put in your car. Now, if she passes that test, that's the test. The other test was you got this girl, this chick, this hot to trotty, and you get her, and you're.
Oh,
in the car,
I forgot about the other
pull
test.
up to a truck, and you start beeping the horn, and then you push her head down on your truck, and if she
Oh, my
slops on
goodness.
that hog, you keep her as the truck driver's watching.
I don't know if you guys can hear Katie. Can hear Katie in the background? Katie's disgusted by this all.
What's the point of my thing? You bring her.
You have a point. Wait, you have a point.
Yep, you watch this movie, right? And she sees both of these examples that are given in this movie, right? And then when you go to take her home, you open the door for her, you let her in, you shut the door, you walk around the back. If she doesn't do it, bitch didn't even pay attention to the movie. You don't keep that bitch. And then when you're on the way home, you get out on the highway and you start pushing her head down.
Joe.
And if she doesn't, all right.
Joe, I got to admit, I lost what you were talking about halfway through. Bernie the Bird says you put her in the fucking trunk. Holy fuck, that's a lot of work. We might get to the restaurant in December. This test is not as true. Joe, what the fuck are you talking about, says Alex in the live chat. Joe Manlove Dirty Locks. Oh, I like that, Mike. I'm High. Say the name again.
It's The Princess Bride, dude. You take a chick, you go, you're going to watch a movie with a girl for the first time, you watch The Princess Bride. That shit is funny. It's romantic.
True love.
Action.
True love.
You know?
Joe,
And
what is a better movie?
That movie sucked, man. You kicked that bitch to the curb.
Joe, I already know your name's going to be your name. I already know your answer to this question is going to be Princess Bride, but I'm curious what people in the live chat think about this too. Princess Bride or Willow? Is it an easy answer? Princess Bride, easy answer for you, Princess Bride. Someone recently tried to make the argument that Willow was a better movie, and I
never loved Willow. Like when I was a kid, I had a hard time sitting through that movie.
Bye, Ian. Thank you so much for checking it out, buddy. Talk to you soon.
I appreciated it more years after it had originally come out, but I found it to be difficult to watch the first time I watched that movie.
Princess Bride. No, people in the live chat are all gonna destroy this. Is because I went on the Princess Bride, but some people were like, "Oh, Willow's a better movie. Princess Bride's overrated." I'm like, "No, go fuck yourself." Psst. Princess Bride. Fuck you. Fuck you. Let's see if anyone in the live chat disagrees. So we got Caddigat says Willow. We get Princess Bride. We get mostly Princess Bride. So let's go over to this. So we're talking about this before. That was like 10 different so's. I'm like, so this is what happens when I don't have a topic. I'm like, oh, what are we talking about? We talked about Glow, and Joe and I were also going to mention slightly some of our favorite 80s movies. And we've had this topic before, but this is just sort of a backup topic while we're waiting for questions or comments in certain directions. Because Cobra Kai and Glow, I don't know, nostalgia is good, and I like nostalgia, but sometimes it can be too much. Those two series, I don't know what it is. They do it in a really awesome way. You're not a big Stranger Things fan, are you, Joe? You think Stranger Things is a little bit too much banking on the nostalgia? Or like I actually don't know what you think about Stranger Things. What's your opinion?
It's fantastic.
Oh, cool. I never know. Why don't I have you on Stranger Things reviews? But no, Because I definitely think that's another one that definitely captures that 80s thing really well.
Yep. No, there was another one too that was on called Everything Sucks, I think it was called.
Oh yeah, that show got canceled, unfortunately. That was really nice.
Like a 90s nostalgia thing, which wasn't bad.
It's totally ridiculous off subject, but did you ever watch American Vandal?
Was that the Dicks?
Yeah, the Dicks thing.
I didn't watch it.
It's actually pretty fucking hilarious, but what's amazing to me is that there's a season 2 of it. I don't fucking know. I don't know how they're fucking doing this. Did I watch season 5 of Arrested Development? I haven't watched all of it, but I did watch bits and pieces of it, and I do find it funny. It's pretty fucking great.
Now, is that the newest thing that just came out? No, that's the one that came out a few years ago.
No, the new one there's a new season that just came out, and then the season that came out a few years ago, they did a reversion of it with all of them. They kind of like reshot the season with all of them in the same place at the same time. It's really kind of weird that they did it. So my father got me on The Princess Bride, was acting Fred Savage, was his grandfather, The Breakfast Club or The Goonies. I think as much as I do...
Two different... No.
Oh, Joe, do you say Breakfast Club?
I say that's two different... That's like, I don't know, The Godfather or Fantasia.
I got to go with The Godfather.
But it's two different movies.
There's better Disney movies. I'll go with The Godfather.
Two different movies. The Breakfast Club, one's about middle school kids, one's about high school kids. There's a fundamental difference of right there. Like that's like Cocoon or Fight Club. Right?
Fight Club.
Right, but it's. I mean, no, it's.
I know what you're saying, but sometimes you can compare apples and oranges.
No. You want to compare fruit, okay, right? You can compare any movie, right? They're all movies, but like you compare Granny Smith to Fuji to Red Delicious.
Okay, Lost Boys or
don't
Flatliners?
to an orange or to a pineapple.
Lost Boys or Flatliners?
Yeah, Lost. I mean, again, see, those are at least a little bit more similar in my mind as far as comparable movies, and they both got fuckface in them.
Fuckface Johnson, the son of cocksucker.
Yeah, the
son of cocksucker. You know cocksucker from MASH. Fucking Jack Fucksink. What the fuck, that asshole? We had to review his show.
Both got fuckface in it.
Yeah, so. Fuckface. Just pick one, Joe. Joe doesn't like to make decisions. You can't put what ifs to Joe. He's like, I don't fucking no. I can't compare those fucking things.
No, we can
just pick one asshole.
Yeah, because they both got the fuck face. So, but yeah, it's definitely Lost Boys because that's got the other dude in it too, right? What's that other kid's name there? The one that disappeared.
Ted. Oh, Jason Patrick. Yeah, Jason Patrick. The Vinny chases
both fucking Corys. Both Corys, not just one Corey. Yeah. Both Corys.
That single-handedly makes any 80s movie better. You put both Corys in a movie, it raises the bar. It makes License to Drive passable. It really does.
It elevates it to levels beyond, man.
Yeah, that's 80s Hall of Fame territory. That's like when you have Anthony Michael Hall and what's her name? Ali Sheedy in the same movie together. It's you don't want to get into that. So what's your favorite Steve Guttenberg movie, Joe?
Okay.
This is what let's talk about Steve Guttenberg, because Steve Guttenberg. What would you say? What would you say?
Police Academy.
Police Academy 1. You think is the best Steve Guttenberg movie?
Is Guttenberg also Johnny Five Alive?
Yes, he's in the first Johnny Five Alive. He's awesome. He's also really good in Three Men and a Baby. The Guttenberg is another thing that you only get in the 80s, and he's a big joke. He's a joke of almost every Family Guy joke. There's a Steve Guttenberg reference somewhere in there, but he was in a
something like last year.
Well, fuck now, Guttenberg. That's someone wearing a Guttenberg mask. He's got, but let's not sleep on the Guttenberg. Molly Ringwald, thank you, Corey. I was just trying. Young Guns is like a Hall of Fame show right there. You got all of them in there. You got La Bamba in there too. La Bamba's.
You got Sheen Stevez.
Yeah, you got Sheen Stevez in it. Both of them. It's crazy. You got
Lou.
And you got
put that crazy Indian in anything. It's gonna make the movie better.
And you got Fuckface. You got La Bamba and Fuckface, the son of
Fuckface. Sheen
Stevez. Yeah, you can't. And in the second one, you get Talk Hard in there. You get our boy Christian Slater in there. You got
right.
Yeah, Talk Hard. Yeah, that movie was Pump Up the Volume. The Christian Slater era. Was that in the 90s or was it the late 80s?
Okay. Pump Up the Volume or Gleaming the Cube?
I would say Pump Up the Volume. I thought that was his. I thought that was Ultimate.
Okay. Pump Up the Volume or Heathers?
Oh, that's a tough one, dude. I would say Heathers.
Heathers
is a better movie. Heathers is a better movie.
Heathers is the better movie.
Heathers is the better movie because you have such a great cast. You get Shannon Doherty in that movie that fucking kills it. Winona is a fucking icon that kills it. Almost every performance she's in is so iconic for the 80s and the 90s, and she looks so amazing in Mr. Deeds. But like she's so good in so many things. And actually, it hurts me. You mentioned The Godfather earlier. It hurts me that she was originally supposed to be the daughter in Godfather 3. And I think a lot of the shittiness of Godfather 3 isn't just from the shitty script. It has to do with the acting, too, of Sofia Coppola, who turned out to be a really great director, but she's a piece of shit actor that should never have been in a Godfather movie when that part should have ultimately been Winona Ryder. But whatever. She dropped out of
much more fundamentally wrong with that movie.
There is, but the casting fucking sucks too, dude.
The casting sucks. Like, the casting really sucks. The story is awful. And then there's a 45-minute opera scene, which is just, are you fucking kidding me?
People short circuit. So it comes down to, I don't want to get away from my important question here. The best Guttenberg performance. So you think it's Police Academy, the first Police Academy movie?
I'm not necessarily gonna see, as far as I'm concerned, up until they ditch Goot, it's all one movie.
Right. That's up until Police Academy 4. He goes off with Kim Cattrall. I believe it's Kim Cattrall. He goes out.
1, 2, and 3 are all Guttenberg, and then number 4 is that other dude.
Yeah, that idiot.
Right. So those first 3 movies, all the way up through Citizens on Patrol, right? That's one movie to me. At this point, like they're all exact. None of those movies are better or worse than the one before it.
Right. Do you remember the Police Academy cartoon?
Vaguely.
Yeah, it was bad. Short Circuit was a really good movie, but that was more about the robot than anything else. And
what's his name doing the blackface or the brown face?
Yeah, I don't know that actor, but that's one of the most racist parts ever portrayed on any movie ever.
He did a great job, right? Everybody loved it at the time, not just because like, oh, but like I didn't know as a kid, I had no clue that was a white guy doing brown face Indian man.
And
like
Young Guns. Oh yeah, and 3 Men and a Baby is an ultimate, is a crazy. You get the
movie,
the Mount Rushmore of fucking crazy. Big Trouble in Little China, amazing movie. Beginning to end, really excellent. Kim Cattrall is amazing. Nancy, holy shit, Nancy with this $20 super chat donation. Happy Sunday. Glad you're back, Joe. Can't wait for Katie to be back with Game of Thrones. Love you, Phil. Nancy, you're amazing. You're so fucking sweet. As always, let me spin the wheel for you, Nancy. Johnny Dangerously, great movie.
Great movie.
Michael Keaton is, and I know you're not. I was gonna say you're not a fan of Birdman, but Michael Keaton is like a national treasure. He is.
That's the reason I went to see Birdman.
Yeah,
the only reason was because it was a Keaton movie.
You and Katie both hate the Birdman.
Like, are you kidding me? Michael Keaton just made it. Yeah, we both did. Michael Keaton just made a movie after like 20 years. That's being publicized. It's hailed as one of the best. I can't wait to go. I am absolutely going to go support this movie in the theater. What a piece of shit! I should have demanded my fucking money back when I should have started fucking knocking shit off the counters at the concession stand until they just gave me my $20 back or dragged me out in fucking cuffs. Because if you went to a restaurant and you were like, "Oh, give me the fucking veal," and it came out with fucking pubes all over it and a piece of pile of shit on the fucking appetizer plate next to it, you'd fucking turn the fucking restaurant upside down and get your fucking money back. You wouldn't pay for it. And when the police showed up, you'd show it to them and be like, "This is what these motherfuckers expected me to eat. I ain't fucking paying for it." And you beat the shit out of them too for trying to make you. But yeah, no. I'd be pissed. I should have demanded my fucking money back.
Now, someone mentioned the Revenge of the Nerds movies. I actually like both the Revenge of the Nerds movies. I think Nerds in Paradise is a really good movie. I don't like the other sequels, but I like the first 2 Nerds movies, and I love.
Okay. Katie and I. So
the first one kind of holds up, even though they're perverts and they break into a sorority house and set up cameras so that they can watch girls masturbate.
Right. So there's a lot wrong with that. That's the wrong message to send your kids, right? And then don't forget about the rape by omission, that I'm not the boyfriend that you think you're sleeping with because I'm in a mask right now.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that skull neck.
With your mouth down there, but it was so wonderful. I forgive you, and I'm in love with you now. This is a bad fucking movie. Terrible. But there's a lot of good things about it too.
Yeah, Ogre.
There's a lot of good things about it too.
John Goodman's in it. Fast Times at Richmond High, Get to the Chopper. Revenge of the Nerds is kind of rapey now, says Corey Mitchell. Phil and Joe, are you Tremors fans? Especially the first one. I think
yes.
The bacon in that dude. I don't know what that dude's name is, but he's like a chemistry guy. He's in a lot of shit, and he's in all the Tremors sequels. I forget that guy's name, but those 2 guys are awesome. Tremors 1 is a really good movie.
He's in 2 other really good movies. There's an Alec Baldwin.
Oh, he's also in Big Business, a movie with Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler Bette Midler, where they both play two parts. They play twins. They play twins, and he plays the mini golf champion of all time, and he walks away from the final hole to go meet up with Bette Midler's character. Or no, I think it's Lily Tomlin's character.
Oh.
And Booger is hilarious. Gremlins is another great movie. Arachnophobia is really awesome. Is the dude in Arachnophobia? Is the dude play the oh no, it's John Goodman that plays the
Fred Ward.
John Goodman
Fred Ward is the guy that you were thinking of, is the guy that's in Tremors with
Oh, Fred Ward, yes, absolutely.
And he's actually in one of my favorite movies, and I can't think of the name right now, that's why I had to look him up. But
Ooh.
it's
Phoebe Cates. Sorry.
It's such a bad good movie.
Drop Dead Fred. Sorry, someone's talking about Phoebe Cates in the live chat, and Drop Dead Fred. I don't really like that movie.
Oh, he's in 30 Minutes or Less too. That's right. He plays the dad that gets shot, shoots the dude with the pen.
John Goodman is great. Lamar from Bridge of the Nerds. Plus, Fear the Black Hat is a very underrated fucking movie. That movie is hilarious. I love Fear the Black Hat. My peanuts. A great fucking movie. Arachnophobia. I saw that movie in the theater. That was fucking scary as shit. Yeah, he beat the javelin. And I like how in the second Nerds movie they that Ogre becomes a nerd. Ogre was always one of my favorites because there was a show on, I believe it was HBO, but it might have been Showtime back in the day, called First and 10. It's famous, or not famous, or infamous because one of the main stars on the show, especially in the later seasons, was O.J. Simpson. But ultimately, the show was about a football team that in a semi-pro league called the Bulls and their quest to win the championship every year. And Ogre played this character named Dr. Death, which was, I love that name. I love the name Dr. Death. It made me, created all sorts of emotions, and it made me want to get one of those lab kits, those weird lab kits they used to sell kids where they gave you all these weird chemicals that you could put in your eyes and kill yourself and blind yourself and all that sort of shit. I'm a clumsy ass kid and I got all these chemicals that would just do nothing. I wanted to mix them and have awesome shit happen, and you just mixed them around and you eventually ate them and got sick and you didn't know why. But ultimately, I wanted to be Dr. Death, but that became my nickname for a little while in the few years I played football. That was like my, like right on my locker, my football name.
Yellow Belly.
Yellow Belly?
Yeah, I showed up. I got put on the team like a week late because I didn't know about tryouts. I was kind of just in my own world as a freshman, and all my classmates were like, "Why aren't you playing football?" So I showed up, and all the practice jerseys had been given out, and it was like this old ratty fucking yellow, a solid bright yellow one. So, Yellow Belly it was.
Ooh, here's a good one, Joe.
Fred Ward.
Here's
you want to see Remo Williams and Miami Blues. Miami Blues is really fucking good. It's Jennifer Jason Leigh, Alec Baldwin, young Alec Baldwin. Just good fucking movie. Real good movie.
Do I like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Love it. Can't wait for Bill and Ted 3. I'm a huge fan of the entire series, and I think they both take it very seriously, and they take the whole situation pretty seriously. So I don't expect Bill and Ted's 3 not to be funny as well. So I'm a big fan of the Bill and Ted universe, and I love that those two guys like keep it alive and didn't allow shitty sequels and shitty ideas that were put out for years and have waited for what they think is the right thing. Caddyshack or Meatballs? I know it's another one of those hypotheticals that Joe hates. I will say Caddyshack. I think Rodney Dangerfield. There's so few Rodney Dangerfield movies for me. And Joe's shaking his head because I know we're going to get into Rodney Dangerfield. What was that? You think Meatballs is a better movie? Okay, let me make my point. I think Caddyshack has so many great actors and so many great moments in it that it's hard to beat it. Chevy Chase, in the height of Chevy Chase being funny, Rodney Dangerfield being in there as well, just kind of destroys it. I think it's kind of a funny movie. What was that? And then of course you have Bill fucking Murray in it, killing it as another part, just adding a different dynamic. That combination, that scene you get with Bill Murray and Chevy Chase together is really a crazy iconic scene. One of the crazy most iconic comedy scenes ever in movies. And I think
So Stripes or Caddyshack?
Caddyshack because the second half of Stripes sucks. Even though the cast of Stripes is so fucking awesome. It's funny you say Stripes because I just watched it last night. I hate the whole section of Stripes at the end when they're going in the tank and driving around. I found that section boring. But
They're not in a tank, they're in a Winnebago,
whatever the
dude.
fucking thing is. But like ultimately the beginning half of Stripes at basic training, it's almost like the same thing as Full Metal Jacket. I like the basic training section. I don't like after the basic training section. I think Stripes is really good at the beginning, but Harold Ramis kind of lost it towards the end. He couldn't quite rein in that script. I think Stripes is an uneven movie, even though I think it's an excellent fucking movie.
That's exactly what I think of Caddyshack. I think it is so uneven. There's Rodney Dangerfield, Bill Murray, and Chevy Chase all trying so hard to be the funniest man in that fucking movie that they all end up being very unfunny. Very, like, you got both Rodney and Bill doing slapstick shit that's just, it falls short.
Interesting, Joe.
Like the funniest part of that movie.
I don't think we can be friends anymore.
Guy throws his fucking club because he's all pissed.
I don't think
like
we can.
Really, or the shit in the pool. One of those two things is the funniest part in the fucking movie.
Sorry. Joe, I don't think we can be friends anymore. No, I'm kidding. Groundhog Day or Scrooge? Scrooge is really good. It's a really fun movie, but Groundhog Day is maybe a perfect movie.
It's damn close to a perfect movie. Scrooge is good, but it's a tired story just told really well.
Yeah, it's the best. It's my favorite version next to the Mickey Christmas Tale with Scrooge as Scrooge. That in Scrooge is my favorite version of that. You got Locke's wife in that as one of the I think the ghost of the past, but or the present. I think she's the ghost of the present. But
she's the one that takes him around.
Yeah, and just beats the shit out of him the whole time. Someone said Mannequin out there. Mannequin's amazing. That's Kim Cattrall at her absolute most attractive.
I watched every time we went to the theater, to the movie store, to Pornographics in Venice Square Phil.
Yeah, Pornographics.
Can I rent this one?
Yeah,
I always pull down fucking Mannequin.
Great
she
movie.
opens up that fur coat and she's in all that. Oh my god.
Was that guy's name Anthony Edwards or Anthony whatever his name is? Andrew McCarthy. Thank you, Katie. He is like another Guttenberg in a way. He was in like a different section of movies. I mean, obviously he started out in
Can't Find Me Love, right? No.
He was in Pretty in Pink, and then he was in Weekend at Bernie's, and the one we just mentioned are Mannequin are his big ones, and obviously Weekend at Bernie's too. We got Roadhouse mentioned in the live chat, which made me a Sam Elliott fan. And
Roadhouse or Ghost?
Roadhouse.
See, you can't compare these
I'm comparing it, and Roadhouse is better. I like Roadhouse better. Fuck Ghost. Ghost is okay. Whoopi Goldberg's hilarious, but I'm not a big Demi Moore. I don't think she carries movies alone. But I think some of it is ridiculous. But I think Roadhouse is ridiculous too. But it's more my type of ridiculous. So I like Roadhouse better. So you can compare them, Joe.
Dirty Dancing or Roadhouse?
Dirty Dancing is a better movie from beginning to end.
It's a much better movie.
But I like Roadhouse more, I think. But Dirty Dancing is one of the best, like, at what it's trying to do, for a success of what it's trying to do, is up there as one of the, could be considered a perfect movie. It hit a home run in everything it was trying to do. Dirty Dancing is a better movie.
Yeah.
100% better movie. Jennifer Grey is so fucking cute in that movie too.
What?
Jennifer Grey is so fucking cute in that movie. Bill and Ted or Wayne's World.
Roadhouse.
Oh, and Roadhouse. She was great. Yeah, she was
great in Roadhouse.
Okay.
No, I hated the chick in Roadhouse.
But she fucks.
Oh, Joe, this one's for you. A favorite Judge Reinhold movie? Judge Reinhold's in a lot of really awesome movies. He's in. We mentioned he was.
That's very.
We mentioned he was in Stripe. He's in Stripes. He's in Gremlins. He's in like a lot of really awesome shit. The favorite movie that he's in the vehicle of, the movie with him and Fred Savage, where they switch, where they're like father like son. I think he's really good when he's playing a young kid in that movie, when he's playing like young Fred Savage. And it's like one of those Freaky Friday movies with Fred Savage and Judge Reinhold.
Man. Fucking, what's that movie? with the bitch that gets out of the pool and he's jerking off.
Oh, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Fast Times, dude.
Yeah.
Fast Times.
You have the right. You have the right answer, Joe. You definitely have the right answer. This question.
Phoebe Cates titties.
Yeah, Joe. I'm wrong. I'm gonna shut up now. Joe.
And Jennifer Jason Leigh gets fucked on a fucking dugout.
Yep.
Oh man.
Not long. Not long though. It only happens for a second. And Shade.
The bullet points that make a good movie.
Yeah, Shades finishes very quickly. You know who I'm talking about. Mike has a question for you, Joe. Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Steven Seagal, both in movies and then in the fight.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Now, see, here's the thing.
Do it, Joe. Break it down. Break it down for the people now, Joe. Tale of the tape from Joe Dirty Locks.
Here we go. Both of these men are, they're B actors. They're nothing special with their acting ability. Okay, now as of lately, Jean-Claude.
Yeah, Jean-Claude has a gear that's
is just now being explored.
JCTV. Well, what's that movie that he just did where he plays like the international spy or something?
JCVD and / his Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
That's the show I'm talking about. Jean-Claude Van Johnson is fucking awesome.
Right, and then he also did JCVD, which it's similar to this, but it's different, and it's a movie. But so they're both decent at what they do in the movies they make. But I think I prefer Seagal movies. There's more of them that are good, right? There's like three. They're not in
Bloodsport and Kickboxer. That's it.
There's Kickboxer. There's Bloodsport. There's
Street Fighter.
There's there's a few Jean-Claude movies that are okay, but you got Under Siege. You got there's a lot more, I think, Seagal movies out there right now at this point to choose from. Now, if you wanted to fight them, put them in a ring or a cage and fight them. Here's the thing: Steven Seagal is a legit fucking Aikido master.
Aikido's scary. Aikido's scary.
No, that's the thing.
Isn't it pressure points where you can
scary?
Where you can crush people by pressure points and shit?
Yes, but here's the thing: like, if you watch videos of Aikido masters, people don't get attacked like.
Yeah, but they're like these really chubby, old, fat-looking, weird dudes that like are destroying guys that are in mad shape, like doing flips. That's like grabbing you with one hand. I'm like,
right. When you look at Steven Seagal in his youth, when he's 19 and he's in Japan, he is 6'6". He's fit. He's lean. He's a legit Aikido master. But Aikido, it was invented.
Rocky wins. Sorry.
Well, it was invented for when you got disarmed on a battlefield, and there was people all around you, and you could still then maybe defend yourself and disarm somebody else that had a weapon coming at you. That's what it's designed for. It's not designed for a one-on-one fight to fight someone. If you put someone.
So you think Seagal doesn't even get close to Van Damme? Van Damme's able to keep him away through kicks.
See, here's the thing. Van Damme he was in competitions as a kid as well, back in Brussels or where the fuck he's from. He was trained. He's not just a dancer, So, but I would probably put that'd be a difficult fight, but I'd give it to Van Damme overall. But if you took some of these MMA guys and you put them in against whichever best Aikido guy that you could find, chances are the Aikido guy is going to lose. Now that being said, it's still dangerous shit, and you still break a lot of bones with it if you can get the right.
Yeah.
But watch Aikido masters in their videos, and you'll see that you just don't get attacked like that. People just run at you and get themselves flipped. Like I'm not gonna charge you like that. I'll put my fucking hands up. I'm gonna defend myself. I'm gonna start throwing strikes, and if you want to wrap up, then we'll wrap up and we'll go from there. Bring it to the ground. Then your leverage is gone for a lot of Aikido.
Oh,
I don't know enough about it to say that, actually.
Rocky 2 versus Electric Boogaloo. No, Rocky versus Rambo. Rambo would destroy Rocky. He would shoot him very quickly.
He'd blow him up.
Yeah.
Before, like, I'm waiting for you in the ring. Okay, boom.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. Seagal movies are all the same. Sensitovia Major. Human Centipede versus Spider-Man 2. JCDD. There's a lot of Fast Times at Richmond High and Led Zeppelin references. A+ here tonight. Great to see you. Garbage Pail Kids. That was a gross fucking movie. Cheech and Chong. Cheech and Chong versus Bill and Ted versus Wayne and Garth versus the dude, Where's My Car guys. If I had to pick any two of all of those people to exist in this planet, it would have to be Cheech and Chong. Cheech and Chong, Tommy Chong's humor and Cheech, they're on a different level. I don't think it's hard to call Wayne and Garth and Dude, Where's My Car? That's a different sort of situation. That I think they're out of this equation completely. I think Wayne and Garth and Bill and Ted, it's hard to call them stoner comedy. I know it's assumed that they're smoking, but they're not actually smoking.
More like Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, Harold and Kumar versus Cheech and Chong. But I think Cheech and Chong still defeat. I think if we're talking about smoking icons in comedy type movies, the only one that could compete with Cheech and Chong for me would be Dave Chappelle with Half Baked. And if Dave Chappelle just as a whole in the way he like portrays smoking and his kind of vibe with it. But I think Cheech and Chong are still the godfathers of that particular thing. I think it's a different.
In one of their movies too.
I think with Bill and Ted and Wayne and Garth, I think they're more comparable. And if I was going to have to pick one of those two, as much as I love Wayne and Garth, I would. And my show, Joe and I's show, is Wayne's World ultimately. But besides that, I would have to go with Bill and Ted. I think Bill and Ted and Bogus Journey, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey, I like better than Wayne's World 1 and 2. I like Wayne's World 1 and 2 a shit ton, and this isn't like an easy decision for me, but if I'm putting my hand to the fire and having to say which two series of movies, it's easy to compare them because they both have two movies. I would have to go with Bill and Ted 1 and 2. I think Bill and Ted, Bogus Journey, and Excellent Adventure are just better fucking movies.
I agree with you. I watched the other
Wayne's World was great, though.
Watched Wayne's World the other day, and I got to say, it's another one I don't know how I thought was as funny as I thought it was for so long. It's good, but it's not.
Oh, Jay and Silent Bob are good picks, too. They're fucking great. Chappelle hates that movie because it's too tame. I know Chappelle hates that movie. Up in Smoke is the greatest movie. Up in Smoke and Nice Dreams are my favorite Cheech and Chong movies.
I don't know, whichever one. Do
you have herpes on your face, Joe?
Where he drinks the piss in the van.
I love the ones that Pee Wee Herman's into when Pee Wee Herman steals all the coke. I'm not sorry I took the coke. I'm not sorry. And what's great.
Get the key, man. Get the key. I'm going to give you the key.
I'm not sorry.
He comes in, gives him the key. Yeah. I want the key too. What is it? What is it? No, don't tell me. I want it.
Yeah, and Stacy Keach is great in that movie too. Mallrats or Clerks? That's a good question. I will say Chasing Amy, but between those two movies, Clerks.
I don't know, Mallrats. I mean, they're different movies. One's more of a movie, and the other one's more of like a scene study almost.
What's your favorite Kevin Smith movie? Is it one of those two movies? My favorite Kevin Smith movie is probably Chasing Amy. I like a lot of his movies. I like Dogma. I like Clerks. Really good. I like Clerks. I like Jay and Silent Bob. I like all the Mew Universe or Askew Universe movies. But I think my favorite of all those movies is Chasing Amy, and it's because of Jason Lee's performance. And I think Jason Lee is fucking hilarious in that movie. And I think that's one of Ben Affleck's best acted roles too, strangely enough. So if anyone wants to see Ben Affleck in a good movie or actually in a good performance, I think that's one of his best. I like Kevin Smith.
The running line in
Dogma. Oh, what's the running?
Don't make me fuck you in a very uncomfortable place.
We got Clerks. We got Mallrats.
Volkswagen.
People in the live chat, Mallrats, I'm from New Jersey, comic book men, Clerks, Mallrats, Clerks, Red State, Dogma, Red State, all genres in one, Dogma, Clerks, because I had the screener VHS copy before it came out. I worked for my best friend at the video store at the time. And I also really like, I know it gets a lot of shit, but I really like Clerks 2. I think Clerks 2 is an underrated movie. And I think it's really fun and really funny, and the donkey show stuff is hilarious. And I think some of the dialogue, especially between Dante and I'm blanking on the other character's name, the kid who runs the video store. But I think they have amazing dialogue. Chasing Amy's probably my least favorite, but still good. My Name is Earl, great stuff. Raising Hope, better than My Name is Earl for me. But Clerks, all that sort of shit. The Kevin Smith Flash episodes. So Chasing Amy, The Girl Went Straight. I'm a
favorite Bacon movie.
That's a tough one, Joe.
There's so many. There's so many, and there's so many early ones too. Icy Fury. You're gonna have to. That might be a podcast all on its own because he's got so many. We could go back. We could be lobbing that shit off each other all day long. But ultimately, I guess the real crux of it is
Merle is in Mallrats. Yes.
95% of Kevin Bacon movies suck to begin with. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like those 95%, but they suck. Right? Come on. They're not like. I mean, yeah, he's got a career. He deserves his career.
Oh,
I'll take that from him.
Now, I want to mention something about Clerks. The original draft of the Clerks script had Dante dying at the end. Had someone coming into the shop at the end and shooting him. He wasn't supposed to be here that day, but they decided to take that out of the script. Do you think they should have kept? Do you think yes, in Clerks? Do you think
yes, because he shouldn't have been there that day? Absolutely, they should have kept that in.
You think that was my question for you, Joe? Do you think they should have kept that ending in?
That actually, that ending makes sense. It changes the whole tone of the movie.
Oh yeah, it was at the end of the movie when he goes back in and he closes up and he's like closing up the store. It's why the end kind of they ended up changing it to just have a song play and the movie ends. But what originally happened is one of the guys that he kicked out of the store earlier in the movie comes back in and shoots him.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been a bad ending to that movie, but it would have changed. It not only changes so much, but it changes how like you would look at that movie and be like, "This was a great movie. I don't want to watch that again."
Yeah, it would turn it into a what's that movie with Marlon Wayans and where they
yeah, absolutely.
What's that movie called?
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, I watched that movie once. I'm never gonna watch it again. I've
watched it like 2 or 3 times because baby asked to ask. Come on.
Oh yeah, asked to ask. Joe, no, I'm not gonna say it, but but I have a good memory. I have a good memory of you yelling. Yeah, of you yelling ass to ass at one point in time in my life.
That was such a great night.
That was a good night, Joe. That was a very good night. So bachelor party. It's funny that you mentioned bachelor party because Joe and I were gonna have a whole section, and this might be kind of the last section that we talk about, and then we'll take a couple of last questions and then end things off here tonight. But because Joe and I could go on forever, and that's what this show's about. Like we want to know that we're coming out here on Sunday nights, and even if we don't necessarily have a topic, I don't think Joe and I either, as much as we love Game of Thrones and love The Walking Dead and love Better Call Saul, I don't think either one of us really want to come out here and talk about a specific show or anything tonight, but so we decided to more have this as a free-form conversation. So we thank you guys in the chat for having a fucking awesome conversation here. But what the fuck was I just going to talk about? I forget what the fuck I was going to just talk about.
That movie.
Which what movie did I fucking mention? Sorry, I'm ass to ass, baby.
Something we were going to talk about.
See, now bachelor party, yes. So Tom Hanks' career is so fucking interesting because we look at Tom Hanks and you think post The Gump and post Philadelphia, his career went in like a lot of different weird directions, or not weird directions, but he turned into greatest, one of the best actors in the world, Tom Hanks. But Tom Hanks in the 80s was a very different animal. In the early 90s was a very different animal. Starting off on
pressing fruit on that show there.
On the fucking show, dressing in fucking drag. But no, he started off originally on on Happy Days, I believe. He had a bit part on Happy Days. He also was on Family Ties. Maybe he wasn't on Happy Days. Maybe it was just Family Ties. But Bosom Buddies was really the first time that I knew who Tom Hanks was. Really funny show about him, about these guys that got kicked out of their apartment and were forced to dress. What was that? What'd you say? Was that the other guy in it? Yeah, it was a really funny show. And then Tom Hanks had a career of these not excellent movies, but really fucking awesome 80s movies. One of the best being Bachelor Party, and they were all like on the verge of not porn movies, but they all had boobies in it and shit. And they were all really fun movies, and it kind of proceeded with his career. There's some really great highlights of the early Tom Hanks. There's a movie called Punchline he was in with him, and Damon Wayans is in it, and Forrest Gump's mom's there. That was that I always blank on her name, but Sally Field, thank you, Joe. Where they all play stand-up comics. Is a movie he did with Jack Nicholson where he played a doctor, I believe. Let me get my fucking IMDb up because I want to talk about this. But what are your opinions on Bachelor Party and early Tom Hanks, Joe?
I actually never really loved, like, Bachelor Party was never a movie I loved. I thought, production-wise alone, it's really weak. It's like low budget.
Oh God, so many times we can't be friends tonight, Joe. No,
but here's the thing: it's not a movie I loved, but I've seen it so many times. There's a lot of good jokes in it. It's not a bad movie. It's just not one of my favorite.
Right?
Parties.
You don't have that nostalgic feeling.
I'm not an Animal House fan either.
Really?
Like, there's a lot of good things in that movie, but for the most part, I'm like, eh. Like Stephen First, I love him in that movie. Because, of course, he's also in the best sci-fi drama of all time.
Oh, wow. Fuck you. Deep Space Nine? He's
D5.
He's in Deep Space Nine? So, he's in Star Trek Next Generation? So, let's go through Tom Hanks' career here, and we'll sort of end on this, and then we'll go to the live chat and take some final questions. So let's go through and thank you so much to Joe Dirtylocks. Thank you to all of our Super Chat donators and all the people checking out this live show. We know this is different than our normal thing, and we thank you guys for joining us. And I'm not an idiot. Here, let me pour the rest of my beer in my glass. And
Cattigat, do spill the beans about those rumors.
Oh, we love rumors. Touch us in with the rumors. So let's go through Tom Hanks' career here. So he started off, his first show was on something we don't even care. In 1980, he was on something called He Knows You're Alone. Then he was on an episode of The Love Boat, which I don't remember. But then came Bosom Buddies. Bosom Buddies was a really funny show. I don't know if it would hold up now, but it was funny at the time. I remember really enjoying it. Then he was on an episode of Taxi, and I wasn't making it up. He was on an episode of Happy Days. Then he was on an episode of Family Ties. Then we get to the Tom Hanks early movies. There's a movie called Splash in the 1980s. Splash is a really good movie with Daryl Hannah, John Candy. No, I like her and Roxanne too.
Okay, yeah. And no, Roxanne's a good movie. And I've tried to watch Splash again since I was a kid, and I loved it when I was a kid. It's awful. It does not hold up. I can't watch like 10 minutes of that movie without being like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, Daryl Hannah's acting doesn't hold up. but I think one of her best movies is Roxanne. I think that's probably the one where she's most locked in. I think that movie holds up a great deal.
And I'll say this. She just did a series on Netflix called Sense8. Now, she sucks in Sense8, and her character is almost useless and could have been actually acted by anyone. But that fucking show is one of the best shows ever fucking made.
Really?
Written, story-wise.
Talk about that for a few minutes. Talk about what you like about Sense8, because I know people have been telling me about this.
There's so much about it. It was canceled before its time. So happy they were able to make that 2-hour movie finale that kind of capped off the story. It did exactly what it promised you that it was going to do. I don't see how any fan saw that movie and wasn't happy. Okay, so with this series, like the first season and the second season, there's so many parts. I was in tears with a smile fucking ear to ear. probably 90% of the time I was watching this show, episode after episode. There's so much human emotion, it's such an original sci-fi. Oh, an interesting note, made by B5 guy, Michael Straczynski.
Oh, that makes sense. And that's why you're like that. Oh, Bernie the Bird says, I'm surprised that you like it because she loves that show too. And now it makes sense because it is made by and I actually knew that. It's made by the B5 people.
And the Matrix sister brothers.
The orgy scenes are amazing, says Bernie the Bird.
And they are. It's not just that they're orgy scenes, right, Bernie? They're not just orgy scenes. They are
life.
They're epitome of love in a way, like of inclusiveness. It's this mind fuck of a science fiction element that has very rarely been explored, and the way that they do it in this, it's just so I can't. People are like, oh, what's it about? And I'm like, if I try to explain it to you, you're never gonna fucking watch it.
Joe, you need to start doing some reviews without me. Like I'll let you log into the channel and do some shows that we don't, because I'm sure people will love to hear your opinions on Sense8 in more detail. So
that's it, Bernie. You hit the nail on the head. There is very much, I don't want to call it an agenda to this series, but people who are homophobic or are not as open-minded for some things will definitely
What's up, Jay?
Off by this show to a point, but it's about so much more than just sexuality, although there is an underlying tone throughout the series that this has to do with, because that's so much of humanity as well, you know. So it's just so good. It's so good. It's one of the best shows that I've ever seen on television. Like, even visually, it's shot in 4K. It's shot in locations like 10 different countries around the fucking world: Germany, India, America, Sweden or some shit, or Netherlands or whatever the fuck it is. Someplace down in South America or Central America, or maybe even Mexico. I'm not sure, but like in Rio, I think at one point. It's just such a fantastically, like, the locations are great. It's got one of the main guys in it is from Heroes, I believe. Is it from Heroes, Katie? It's from here.
Is Peter Twelly?
No, it's I don't know if it's Heroes. It's the Middle Eastern guy.
Oh, okay.
He from Heroes?
Yep. I haven't watched Sense8, but there is a dude that played the doctor on Heroes.
He got like black curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So this
Sense8 is the show that Joe's talking. People are wondering what. Oh, whoops! Sorry, I can hear myself a little bit here.
It's also got from Stargate Universe, which I thought was one of the better Stargate spin-offs, but
it's sci-fi gold, says
it is
Bernie.
Sci-fi gold. It really is. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So
it's one of my favorite shows out there.
To continue through the Tom Hanks, and we'll get back if Joe has anything more to say about Sense8. Definitely ask him questions. What about Elvira? I definitely had an Elvira crush when I was a kid. Splash. Then we get into Bachelor Party, The Man with One Red Shoe, which I've never seen. The Money Pit with him and Shelley Long. Great fucking movie. Nothing in Common is the movie with him and Jackie Gleason. He was in Dragnet, and this is where his career started.
Lost. He was in Lost, not Heroes.
The
guy from Sense8, Katie.
Okay, okay, I know who you're talking about from Lost. So then he was in a big movie that changed Tom Hanks's career direction, you could say. A very big movie called Big. And I think that kind of put Tom Hanks and kind of took him from being in movies like The Money Pit or Bachelor Party, which were a little more quote-unquote edgy in the age and make it more of a universal kind of movie. Then he went back to that more special level, and I think two of his best movies, or some of his best performances. We got Punchline, which he's really good in, a very underrated movie. Again, I talked about Punchline earlier with him and Sally Field are the main actors in it. Just a really great movie. I want to say John Goodman's in it too. I could be wrong, but I'm clicking on it. I am on IamADouchebag.com. Yes, John Goodman is in it. He plays Sally Field's wife. Really great movie. Very underrated kind of movie that's forgotten about over time, about stand-up comedy. So Punchline is a great movie. So as I scroll back down, I'm not going to go through Tom Hanks' entire career. I just want to more go through the early part. Nothing in Common, as I mentioned, Dragnet, Big, Punchline, The Burbs, another great, has one of the two Coreys in it. So
amazing.
Great movie. Turner and Hooch, Joe versus the Volcano, great, amazing movies.
Joe versus Volcano, one of the most underrated movies.
Hilarious. 1990, a 90s movie technically, as we're into the 90s. Bonfire of the Vanities, Radio Flyer, it's a bit part. He was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt. Excuse me. Then we get into one of his better performances, League of Their Own. And then we get into Sleepless in Seattle, and where he takes things a little bit more seriously. Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, Apollo 13. And then we get into the Tom Hanks, But the early Tom Hanks was very fun. I tend to like early Tom Hanks a lot better.
Before he got serious, before he became the best actor in the world.
Yeah, even though Philadelphia and Forrest Gump are two excellent performances.
Tom, Fight Club. 12 Monkeys is a great movie, and Brad Pitt does a great job as your crazy guy, and Bruce Willis is great in that movie too. But Fight Club, man, Fight Club is almost a perfect movie as well.
Yeah. So everybody, we're going to start to wrap things up. So if anyone has any last minute questions, now's the time to get them in. We'll probably take 2 or 3 more questions if we get them. If not, we'll start. That doesn't count, Tom or Mike. So when did he win an Oscar? The first time Tom Hanks won an Oscar was in Philadelphia. That was when things, and then he won it back-to-back for Philadelphia and then Forrest Gump. And I think the Gump is an excellent performance. I like the Gump. I think the Gump pretty much holds up, although the book is a lot weirder. You want to talk about Game of Thrones versus the book, the story. The book of Forrest Gump's a very different character. I remember our friend Elia reading the book and telling me a lot about it, and Forrest is a lot more animalistic in a lot of ways. So yeah, Joe, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm glad you're enjoying. Oh, I'm starting to watch the new season of Orange is the New Black. I don't know if anyone's watching that. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I hope this show starts to end. I'm not feeling this season too much, although I am watching through. I know, Joe, you didn't finish it, but I am also very close to the end of Bates Motel. I watched the first season. It's only 5 seasons, 10 episodes, so I'm just kind of zipping through the performance.
I barely made it through season 2.
What I never connected is the last season is horrible. I thought first season was pretty good. Second season sucked. Third season and fourth season were pretty good.
Made it to third season because second season just fucking
right. Second season was hard. The third season and the fourth season I thought were pretty good. The fifth season, this last season, is pretty shitty. I'm not enjoying it at all. But what's funny is I never put this together, but someone said this to me. The actor that plays Norman on the show is the kid from the remake of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka. He's Charlie.
I didn't. Now that you said
that,
dude,
I didn't know it. But once you say it,
people are gonna hate me for this. But you've heard me say it a million times since we met, Phil. I never liked Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I am a huge.
But you don't like the original. You don't even like the original. You're fucking.
That's what I'm saying.
You're evil.
No,
you're an evil asshole.
Fan.
Oh yeah.
The Johnny Depp Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That's horseshit.
I loved that fucking movie.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
It was fucking fantastic.
You're a moron.
I thought it was so much better than the Wilder movie.
This is your out of every opinion you have, and you have a lot of opinions, and most of them, you can convert me, and sometimes, and you can send me. This is your worst opinion. This is the dumbest take you have, dude. This is the dumbest shit you've ever said in your entire fucking life, dude.
I'm not looking at the original.
I might
with these rose gold colored glasses because I was a child and saw it first. I'm looking at it from a
Joe. Eat some serious ass, dude.
And I'm
dude, shut up, Joe.
And and like I said, I am a huge Gene Wilder fan. He's one of my favorite.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. I've never thought you were dumber than I think right now.
so much better.
I've never thought you were dumber than I think you are right now.
It's so much better. The songs
are better. You are a fucking moron.
The Oompa Loompa is fucking better.
The one Oompa Loompa is not better.
It is so much better. It is such.
Joe, you're such a troll. You're such a fucking ass. This is gonna be a pot. We got to do our own show when you have
Katie's yelling at me too from the other room.
Yeah, because Katie's smart. She doesn't think this shit too, does she? I'm sorry, Katie.
It is so much better, and I know I'm not
better.
And I know that it's not just my opinion. It happens to be the truth of the fact.
Joe, I don't even have the heart to argue with you about this because this is so stupid. You're making your own bed. Joe, you're making your own bed. I don't even have to argue about this because you're so wrong. All I have to say is, dude.
No, man, I ain't looking at it with rose-colored fucking glasses, man.
I'm not looking at rose-colored glasses. I'm looking at
stinker.
Okay, sorry that you. Oh, wait, sorry.
It was a stinker.
I can hear myself too much. You fucking idiot. The songs are better. From says, Joe, you're such an idiot. I like the motherfucking chat. Oh dear. Jared and James got. Joe, you're high. Joe,
I loved the Oompa.
Joe is an Oompa Loompa. I'm muting Joe. Fuck this shit. Joe's muted. Fuck this asshole. Is he serious? He's not kidding. People in the live chat, let me know. Joe's muted. He can't talk right now. Fuck him, because I'm sick of hearing myself because he lost his fucking headphones. He needs to get new fucking headphones. Or I'm going to give him a pair of headphones next time he comes by here. Anyways, fuck that guy. Okay, fuck this guy. I try to bring you good guests, and Joe's our co-host here. But now he's bringing the fucking Burton back. Oh, fuck. Should we bring Joe back in? We got to bring Joe back in. Okay.
It is that much better.
Oh, shut the I can't deal. Joe, it's not rose-colored glasses when something. I got to turn you down when I talk. It's not rose-colored glasses. You don't really think that, right, Joe? You're trolling us, right?
No, I really do think it. I've never liked the original.
I know you haven't, but it's hard to. Okay, I'm not as big of a hater of the remake as some people are. I think Johnny Depp isn't the best selection for Willy Wonka. I think there could have been some better selections, but I think some of what Burton creates in that universe is pretty good. I don't agree with you about the music. I think the music is unmemorable. Willy Wonka in his magic factory, galactic goop, you great big ugly nincompoop. Okay, Cheer Up Charlie is a shitty song. Pure Imagination is awesome. Yes. The Candyman is fucking awesome. And those two songs alone make the original one, from a musical standpoint, better because they're just amazing songs in my mind.
Pure Imagination song is a classic song.
Okay, if we want to go not beyond that, even though I like some of the other songs in it, I think Cheer Up Charlie is a shitty song, or whatever it is. The song that the mother sings, I think, is a shitty song in the original one. I think that's the worst part of the original movie when the mother sings. But I think all the other music is really good, and I think Pure Imagination is as good as Rainbow Connection as just a great song. I think that's just a really awesome song, and I think that alone makes the music better. I think some of the production value that Tim Burton gets, if we're really breaking this down, I think some of the stuff that Tim Burton does, he's a little bit more loyal to the novel.
What's the music in the second one?
But the music in the second one is an afterthought. What they do with the Oompa Loompa is an embarrassment of turdness. I think Johnny Depp's performance is the worst of his entire career. Out of all of Johnny Depp's performances, his Willy Wonka is ultimately the shittiest of all. And I think it's an embarrassment to all of your opinions that you think that's a better fucking movie. Sorry, no, I know you hate that movie. Have you read the books? Do you enjoy?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing too. Get Cuckoo.
Cuckoo Cuckoo. Is this a Beatles song?
Gekko Kujo 76.
Oh, okay, I'll check.
So he makes a good point. Now, for what it's worth, I enjoy. Okay, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Depp and Burton's Depp's performance. I enjoy it much more.
Santovia, on your point, says the kids were more obnoxious in the first movie.
Yeah,
they should be. They should be.
They're supposed to be. But Gekko makes a great point here. Sampled on the first Marilyn Manson album, parodied on every Simpsons, Family Guy type franchise, and more, right? and then remade by Tim Burton in depth. So there is a classic element to this film, right? That it fits in a spot in movie history and movie lore, right? Forever. It's enshrined. It is a classic movie. There's no doubt in telling, like, I may not have enjoyed the movie, right? I hated fucking Fantasia, but this is a classic fucking cartoon, right? I didn't like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but I would not sit here and tell you that it's not a classic, that it's not deserving in its spot in for what it is and where it is.
Okay, so it's more of you don't feel it, because there's a lot of movies I feel that way about too. I just don't like them, but I still know that they're classics.
This is a classic. The performance is delivered, you know.
But you've never never liked that movie, and I can attest to that. Since I've known you, that was one of the movies that you had a hard time with.
Like, you had taped over Julia's copy of it, and I was like, fucking awesome. Let's watch that basketball game. Or Pink Floyd, what was it?
I think it was Pink Floyd. It might have been See No Evil, Hear No Evil. So let's listen to a message that Jay left us. Good buddy Jay. I bet this is going to be fun. So let's listen to Jay's voicemail. Oh, sorry. So listen, engineer, click the fucking voicemail.
Sorry, you need to hire a new engineer, dude.
Sorry, Phil and Joe, I fucking up. I know. This is why I shouldn't feed you meth before the show.
The first one's pretty. The first one's like overrated as hell and just, you know, below average at best. And the second one's average. Okay, neither.
Oh wait, I think I missed the beginning of his.
Is he talking about Charlie?
Oh yeah, I think he is. I think he's talking about Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
So he's on my side.
No, whoa, let's listen to what Jay says again. Wait, shut up, and let's play Jay's message, asshole.
The first one's pretty. The first one's like overrated as hell and just, you know, below average at best. And the second one's average. Okay, neither one of those movies are that great. Okay, I kind of have to get Joe's back on this one because Charlie and the Chocolate Factory isn't a great movie. And I don't know why everyone thinks it is. All right, later.
Whoa, that might have been the first time in the history of this show that Jay agreed with you, Joe. But that doesn't make him right. I think
hands up, we win.
I think we got to end the show there, Joe. I think it needs to be over.
It's something wrong with the universe.
Yeah. Well, we need to stop. We need to stop now. It needs to stop.
Next thing you know, dogs will be laying with cats. Yeah. It'll be mayhem.
Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria, Joe. Mass fucking hysteria. They both suck. Thank you, Jay. I've been saying that for the last 15 minutes, says Tom himself. In Joe's defense, although I completely disagree with him, it did flop at the box office when it was originally released. I never liked Star Wars, says Mike. So give us in the live chat at the end here. Our final question is, what is your biggest, I'm not going to say guilty pleasure, but your biggest afraid to admit, something like that. Like, I hate Star Wars. I hate some big popular movie, excuse me. Oh God, I'm going to throw up. Some big popular movie or franchise that everyone likes. What's the biggest one that you just can't stand, Joe?
The Muppet franchise.
You don't like the Muppets?
The Muppets, I think the Muppets Take Manhattan might have been like the big last one, right? Before he died. And I liked that one, but again, musical, probably because it was a musical, right? They're all musicals. I never really liked any of the Muppet movies.
Really? The Muppet?
It was like, oh, fucking love Kermit and that pig.
You don't like the Muppets, dude?
I like Animal, right? I like fucking the dog there that plays the piano or whatever. Ralph, right? Like, oh yeah, and on Sesame Street, the Grinch is fucking cool. He jumps out of a fucking garbage can or whatever. He's got a little wormy poo.
Wow.
But like,
you don't like the Muppets, dude?
But no, I'm not. And that, right? Even as a kid, even as a child, I was never like, oh, I can't wait
so much.
Fucking screaming at me from the other room. Don't throw anything at me, Katie.
We're getting deep here, Joe. You don't like the Muppets. Wow.
Like, see, that's like people thought I was getting like what the fuck? How could you say that about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Dude, the Muppets suck,
wow,
dude.
No, we're in a safe place here, Joe. You're an asshole, but we're in a safe place. Broke Black Man hates The Godfather.
I hate The Godfather 3 for sure.
The Godfather 3 sucks. But Godfather, I can understand how not everyone can feel that movie. It's a slow-moving movie. I love it.
Godfather Saga instead, where they edit together chronologically.
I like that too, Joe. But The Godfather just happens to be my go-to sick movie when I'm not feeling good. I always watch The Godfather. Hate the Muppets. Get a rope for Joe. Let's hang Joe. Never watched The Lord of the Rings. Couldn't get through the first movie. Avengers. Wonder Woman, any PG superhero stuff. They should make a Muppet of Joe. Let the music into your heart, Joe. Let it in. I have tried watching Breaking Bad, but it depresses me too much as I see Fury. What about Kermit?
Bernie.
You don't like Kermit? Ooh, what about Dark Crystal, Joe? There we go. Joe drew that. We got to get Joe to do some drawing videos for the channel.
What about the Dark Crystal, Bernie?
Joe, I keep wanting you to do a video where next time you do a big drawing, film yourself drawing and then send me the footage so I can do a fast-paced video of it.
See, I don't draw anywhere but at work, and I can't film at work.
Yeah, well, I'm going to lock you in a room. At some point, I'm going to kidnap you from Katie for an afternoon and lock you in a room and make you draw for 8 hours and capture it on video. And feed you and give you...
I loved He-Man, Peter Griffin.
He-Man's great. I hated Robert Plant, says Santovia Major. Didn't Milt want to Big Firebird, not into The Godfather either. Never saw The Godfather. Didn't get The Lord of the Rings. Joe is more of a He-Man guy. Fraggle Rock. It's the best show. I hated DC. I'm trying to think of mine. Does hating Friends count? Like, I fucking think Friends is fucking horrible horseshit. Does that count?
No, that counts. That counts. I didn't like Friends for a long time. I just started getting into it like last year, watching reruns.
I think
I hate Seinfeld.
Okay, no, is that another one you hate Seinfeld? Do you still?
No, I like it now. And
you have to get past Jerry. The thing about Seinfeld is you have to get past Jerry. Jerry's awful.
After watching the Larry David show there.
Yeah, and you're more interested in George. After watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, you're like, oh, George is Larry, so I want to watch it for George. I want to watch it for Larry. And especially early Seinfeld is all real Larry stories. Like, it's shit that happened to Larry in real life. So it's fucking hilarious shit to watch. But
I'll show you one other piece of art that I did that I really fucking
I also never liked There's Something About Raymond. I never liked Ray Romano as a comic, if that...
No, but the supporting cast in that is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. Yes, I hated Friends. Never seen it. Never seen.
Cool, that's for you.
Ooh, Jason.
Not for you, but you know where that inspiration comes from.
Oh, Mike says Joe is an artist for Hentai Weekly. Yeah, no footage.
Oh, yeah, I wish.
Joe likes dark Muppets. I'll be there for you. Stephanie loves Friends, and Joe obviously is saying he's open to Friends. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that everyone likes that I hate. There's a lot of bands. There's a lot of music that everyone likes that I don't like. Ooh, why so serious, Joe? Why so serious?
And that's all you guys get of my artwork.
Yeah. Follow Joe. What's your...
I've only been drawing for a year, and I've never taken a class.
What's your Instagram, Joe, if people want to see more of your fucking drawings?
Hello, Dirty Locks.
Dirty fucking locks? Yeah, dirty fucking locks.
Dirty Locks.
And let us know in the comment section and in the chat right now if you want me to force Joe to do a drawing video where we have him draw something and I do it like in fast motion to music so you can watch Joe draw. So let's make Joe do more stuff for the channel. I hated The Notebook. I've never seen a full episode of Friends. I hated Pretty Woman. I hated Napoleon Dynamite. I never saw Big. I hated Cheers, says the Trigger Man. I refuse to watch Friends. Joe, I heard rumors of a Frasier reboot of sorts.
I heard that too.
Not a reboot, but Kelsey Grammer, like a what Frasier is doing now sort of thing. Are you interested in that at all?
Well, that's not Frasier reboot. That's what's
okay. What did you hear? I didn't. I knew all I heard was for. Should I look this up? Should I look?
We should save this for next time.
Okay, we'll say yeah. Joe's ready to go. Joe's ready to eat a sandwich.
Well, because I am. But we had our whole Cheers podcast. Frasier's.
Oh, we should do we should do a Frasier podcast. You're right.
And there's more to talk. Once we start talking about whether or not there's going to be a remake, we're going to get into the whole Frasier thing to begin with. So,
So we have one last voicemail, and let's call it a night. We got Jay one more time, and then I'll let you go, Joe.
Joe, so you just don't like the Muppet movies, or you didn't like the Muppet Show and Muppet Babies? Like, I need you to elaborate on this, because,
I will elaborate.
The movies, whatever, I mean, I still think they're pretty good, but the Muppet Babies was an awesome show. Do you like that? Please elaborate.
Cartoon.
Please elaborate, Joe. Elaborate, motherfucker.
Muppet movies, did not like. The Muppet Show, I didn't really... the original, I don't really remember. I don't remember it as a kid watching it ever. Probably because I didn't like the Muppets to begin with. The reboot of the Muppet Show, I liked the first episode and then couldn't watch another second of it after that.
Oh, you mean the ABC Muppet Show?
What's that? The newest one.
Yeah.
2 years ago. Didn't they come out with a Muppet Show 2 years ago?
Yes. Yes.
And then it got canceled because the world decided it sucked too.
Oh, it didn't suck.
And then the Muppet Show, Muppet Baby Show, was really good. I enjoyed watching that because that was just a regular fucking cartoon. And as far as Jim Henson goes, I think the guy was a fucking genius. I think he was a great artist. I really, really loved The Dark Crystal. I love Fraggle Rock. I don't know if that wasn't Jim Henson.
Yes, it was.
Not really Muppets, but
it was Henson. Yeah, it was Henson.
Yeah. But just the Muppets in general, the Muppet Show, like the Kermit, was never a fucking fan. Nope. So yeah. I hope that elaborates more, but
no.
Even the Muppet Babies cartoon show, I wasn't a huge fan of. I was a little bit older when that came out, so that wasn't really geared for me. I wasn't really its target audience. That being said, I still watch it.
Jay, I'm with you. I was one of the few people that liked the new Muppets show. Joe likes the Muppets, though he liked Dark Crystal, so he's lying. So everybody, I think now's as good a time as any.
What? Joe likes the Muppets, though. He likes the Dark Crystal.
So he's lying. You just don't like the Muppets proper. The Dark Crystal has Muppets in it, or
no. Okay, so those are puppets. They are not the Muppets. Okay,
we're getting into a semantic situation.
No. The Muppets are not a specific class of puppet. They are a group of individual puppets. They're a gang. They're a gang, right? Like, not all gangsters are Bloods. Not all puppets are Muppets.
Not all gangsters are Bloods.
All right? And just because they're in the style of the Muppet does not make them a Muppet. They are still just a puppet, you know? So, that being said, the Muppet movies, I did not like. But yes, I do like puppetry. I will say that.
Did you like Team America?
I loved
Matt Damon.
Fucking welcome to FAG, man. Yeah. Film Actors Guild.
Film Actors. Where's my? Where?
Let
me go.
Cause I'm a man.
I'm so Ronry, so Ronry. So, Ronry, I'm sad all alone. I'm actually really excited. I'm going to see Book of Mormon in August.
Oh, nice. That's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Joey,
and that's one of the things. Okay, as much as I liked the first few seasons of South Park, and I think they have a good episode every now and then here and there. But I will say this: the things I like about Matt and Trey are their movies. I think their movies outshine South Park hands down, tenfold, 100 times. Even their cheapest, worst movies are that much more brilliant than what South Park is.
So the Muppets were not Sesame Street. Sesame Street had some of the same characters, and the Muppets weren't the Muppets. Right. SM, I agree. Oh no, Phil looks like Shades. That thing you do. We're in the back of a Winnebago. We're gonna do what the guy says in the back of the Winnebago. We're gonna sign with him. You go to your room and write that song along with your principals, Jimmy. It's
See, I was thinking you looked more like Bruce Lee in his glasses.
It's pretty snappy. Actually, these glasses, I don't have the battery for them, but they have they're an old school one. They're like a granddad they have a radio built into them that you can put a little like headphone thing into your ear. I have not gotten that section of them working, but they are a combination radio sunglasses combination. It's fucking amazing. Sarcasmo, yes, my new band with my cousin Craig, our two-piece.
Sarcasmo's so good.
Orgasmo is great, but Sarcasmo is Craig and I's new band name. Orgasmo, Sarcasmo. Orgasmo's a great movie. Orgasmo, Cannibal, Basketball, even though it's not a Matt and Trey movie, it's just Matt and Trey starring in a Zucker Brothers movie, but it's still great. And with Squeak as well. And with Chota Boy as well. So everybody, you guys have been fucking amazing tonight. We really do appreciate it, and thank you for really any fun that happened in tonight. Is honestly,
remember when we decided we were gonna call Nick little bitch?
Yes, he didn't like that though.
He did not like it.
One of these nights, Joe and I need to bring in our friend Nick. He's sort of the tripod of our.
We were gonna call him Squeak only because of like the size of him, and not because like he's the character or because we think he's a little bitch or anything like that. Just because like we were gonna like, it was funny. We were watching the movie, so you know the third one of us was gonna be Squeak, and he wasn't there.
Yeah, he didn't like that. He wants to be a number one. He doesn't want to be a number three. Number one.
We're all number threes occasionally in our group, right?
Oh, yeah. Mystery Science 3000, Mystery Science Theater 3000 is fucking amazing. One of my favorite shows.
I never liked it.
Especially the Joel years. As much as I like some of the other people that have done that, when Joel...
I try to watch those horrible movies. Like, some of those movies they do Mystery Science Theater 2 or this like laugh track shit they got on Amazon. Like, I'm like, I'd rather just watch the fucking movie than listen to these idiots fucking...
Oh, come on. It's fucking funny shit. It's a brand of comedy. Maybe it's not your type of thing, but I fucking enjoy that shit.
I'll do that shit with you.
Yeah, we do that shit. We don't do it enough, but we have to do it soon.
But I don't want to watch other people do it.
Yeah, but I especially, just for my benefit, I like all of Mystery Science Theater 3000. I even like the remake that just recently came out. Patton Oswalt is amazing on it, and I generally like the cast that they have now doing it. But for me, it's at its best with Joel doing it, and Riff Tracks, which is the spiritual successor of it as well, I think continues that magic. I think Joel is one of the most underrated, funny people on the planet. His stand-up comedy is great, and I think he added a level, obviously, I don't say it directly enough. As a stoner myself, I connect very well to Joel's humor. So, anyways. Uncalled for, Joe. The reboot is great. Always a pleasure. But no, it's not always a pleasure. Joe, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Joe... Maybe Joe will be back sometime next week, but if not, the following Sunday we'll get Joe on again. At least
a morning show this week.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll do a morning show this week. That would be awesome. This week's relatively free for me, so maybe we'll do a Brienne of Tarth morning show sometime this week.
Big bitch right there.
Yeah, you ready? You ready to talk about some Brienne?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
I'm right there with Tormund.
Okay, no, hold on, hold it. Say
beat up bear, man.
Save it, Joe.
Bear killer.
Gilbert Gottfried, Mike. I'm actually going to see Gilbert Gottfried at the Cabot Theater in a couple weeks or a couple months. I think it's in September, like a month or so. Getting tickets for that. Stephanie and I are going to a bunch of random shows. We're gonna go see Tenacious D, Australian Pink Floyd, Gilbert Gottfried, and a couple of other random things.
Watch episodes with Joey.
Joey from when you say Joey, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to say I think of Dawson's Creek and I think of Katie Holmes.
I think whoa first.
Who?
Whoa.
Oh, whoa, yeah. Oh, yeah. Joey Lawrence. Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa. Should we spend an hour now discussing the subtle differences between the Keanu Reeves whoa and the Joey Lawrence whoa? Whoa. Now notice the subtle differences between the woes. Here at the Issues program, we like to discuss these finer points of entertainment. The finer points of entertainment of the woe. The woe can be done in so many different ways. Bill and Ted do a woe too. It's more like, whoa. But really, the two most iconic woes of all time are the Joey Lawrence woe and the Keanu woe. Whoa. Whoa. And I know Keanu is Ted, but I'm talking about the Keanu Matrix woe. The whoa.
Does he woe in Matrix?
Oh, he woes several times in Matrix. This is several woes. It's a very woe heavy movie, Joe. Pacey shouldn't have landed Joey. It was meant to be Dawson, goddammit. You are fucking right. Fuck Pasty and his Mighty Duck ass. He's a Mighty Duck fuck. He didn't deserve to end up with fucking Joey. That's fucking bullshit, and I fucking agree with you, motherfucker. Fuck that pasty bullshit. How you doing, Birdie? Oh, I know. Joe's done. Once I start talking about Dawson's Creek, Joe's out. Joe's out. So
I need to eat a Tums and a sandwich.
Yeah. Joe, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share the channel with a friend. Do it. Wait, where am I? Yes. If you like this kind of stuff, Joe and I will be on for a morning show one day this week. I'm not sure what day yet, but we will be on early morning. That means like 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, maybe a little earlier than that, or a little later than that, around that time period. We're going to be talking about Brienne of Tarth. So if you have any questions, get those in at 781-990-8509. You can text that number too, or you can send it on Skype at I Got Issues Man. Ducks fly together, Cattigat. Ducks fly together. Tim Gersh, love you, buddy. It's great. I'm glad to always be here on Sundays. This was good. It was a little earlier than our usual time, but I figured, what the fuck? You guys are great. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bernie, leave a message. 781-990-8509. Leave a message and we'll play it on the next show. Yeah, everyone make sure you check out Smokescreen's Game of Thrones live stream in 8 minutes or so if anyone's interested in such shit. Here we go.